Suddenly after reincarnating, his eyes start to hurt. His eyes turn red, which enables him to see the Matrix like a god. With curiosity, he conjures flames in his hand, seeing numbers on them as well. Our MC has unlocked the ability to steal other people's magic with his eyes. And this concludes the intro. The woman questions why Rain is acting like that. Seeing the Hero Plaza in front of the Papal Palace, Rain wonders if there's a statue commemorating Hero Lista's party there. He swiftly turns to the side. He sees the statues of 4 people. Engraved at the bottom are the dates of death and names of the 4 people. Seeing the dates, Rain asks the woman the current date, and she, puzzled, asks him why he wants to know. Rain repeats his question, and the irritated woman replies it's year 1418. Hearing this, Rain is thunderstruck, causing him to wonder if he reincarnated or if his memory fused with someone else's body. He then remembers the past memories of his companions, realizing they are 300 years old. He questions if they won the final battle, deeming it pointless since the statues and peaceful skies suggest they did. The woman asks why Rain is stating the obvious and tells him that Rin's body is still frozen at the top of the Papal Palace. Hearing this, Rain concludes he must have possessed someone's body. It's said that Lista stayed by Rin's side until the day she died. The woman claims the story is beautiful and yet sorrowful and asks Rain about it. But she sees Rain laughing and asks him why he laughs at a sad story. Rain is smiling because he realized Lista kept her promise. The woman looks puzzled by Rain's behavior as Rain walks towards the statue, hand stretched. He is saddened that someone couldn't keep their promise as he starts weeping, tears leaking from his eyes. Rain doesn't know what those 3 said about him, but he had become a historic figure. The Emperor erected a monument in his honor, and many magic towers and families revered him like a saint. However, the only thing left with Rain for the past 300 years was just the magic. The memories Rin has of traveling to various places and the faces of his companions all laughing are etched in his mind. In a dilemma about what to do now, he recalls Lista saying, "Memories only become memories when you share them." So his memories haven't become memories yet. Until reunited in death, he'll endure those memories alone, like echoes unanswered. The woman offers Rain a cup of tea with a smile. Rain accepts that his companions are gone and left him alone in the world as he takes the cup of tea. He wonders what he should do now. As he thinks deeply, he remembers something Lista had mentioned. He still had something he needed to do. The Sacred Human Empire had divided the wizard class into 7 levels. They start from 1-star rank to 7-star rank. In his previous life, Rin reached a 5-star rank. Only 2 others in the Empire's history achieved the rank of 6-star and higher, known as sages. Those sages had reached the ultimate truth. If Rin hadn't gone on that journey with Lista, he would have become a 6-star by the time he died of old age. But he believes he would have lived with regret. Now, if someone turned back time, Rin would still go on that journey with Lista over and over again. But Lista is gone now, though she had hoped the world would always be filled with laughter. As he follows the woman outside, he wonders if the world they fought desperately to protect is really as Lista had envisioned. It's said reaching the pinnacle of magic reveals the world's true nature, driving Rin to pursue 7-star wizardry in his new life. He wants to push himself and escape the feeling of sorrow and emptiness. Rin remembers the past when Lista had excitedly pointed towards some flowers in a flower field. Rin had then said he would rather read a magic book than waste time watching the flowers. He cherishes those memories. His journey with his companions was truly enjoyable. Now he is ready to move on as he bids his 3 companions goodbye. The dead can only stay in the past, and the living must follow the flow of time and keep moving towards the future. Thus, Rin's second life began. Rin turns his head, questioning at the mention of family. Lista asks Rin if he ever wished for a family. Rin replies no, adding he doesn't even know what his mother looks like. Rin explains he grew up in slums where a dead master of a school noticed his magical talents and took him in, otherwise, he would have been an orphan, so he doesn't care about family now. Pride puts her arm around Rin, saying that's sad. Rin breaks free, stating he doesn't know how to deal with having a family and prefers not having them. Lista advises Rin not to overthink it. She tells Rin to show lots of love as a warm-hearted kid and he will do just fine. Rin wakes from his sleep hearing someone calling for him to wake. He sees a maid nearby who tells him she will prepare breakfast for him. Rin gets out of his bed and stretches his arm. He walks to the mirror and stares at his reflection. Just 20 days ago, Rin regained his past memories and was reincarnated in the body of a 9-year-old spoiled young master. The one Rin incarnated into is a boy named Rain, the eldest son of the Ludwig family, one of the top 5 magical families in the Empire. In his past life, Rin was an orphan, but now he is born into a noble family. As Rain walks into the kitchen, Another maid wishes him morning while his mother exclaims he is awake. The mother tells Rain to inform his father breakfast is ready. Rain goes to inform his father. The father, named Kevin Ludwig, seeing Rain, asks if he slept well, noting Rain doesn't look fresh and active. He feels Rain's forehead, suggesting Rain might not have shaken off the travel fatigue. Rain tells Kevin the breakfast is ready, and Kevin laughs, asking if that's why he came to him, telling Rain to go ahead and eat. Rain asks Kevin if he isn't going to eat. Rain notices a parchment on the table and asks Kevin if it's magic related. Kevin agrees, feeling rushed due to the theory presentation next week. Kevin explains that eating makes him nervous, so he tries to focus and get things done while his mind is clear in the mornings. Rain analyzes the parchment and offers to help Kevin. Kevin wonders if Rain will give him a pep talk, but Rain suggests helping with the magic circle. Kevin appreciates the offer but worries about missing breakfast. He tells Rain to go ahead and eat. Rain takes a quill and starts writing on Kevin's parchment, explaining magic's principles. Rain suggests replacing the rune storehouse with Hill to avoid complications and conflicts. He advises Kevin to use the Empire formula 41-2 for easy answers. Kevin, shocked, gazes at the corrections made by Rain on his parchment. Even the Empire's top scholars hadn't found a solution to that problem despite the high-level spell being activated 200 years ago. Based on Rain's magical understanding, he was a perfectly normal child and didn't inherit any magical talent from the Ludwig family lineage. Rain, holding the parchment, asks Kevin if he can join them for breakfast. Kevin smiles and hugs Rain, agreeing to eat together. Rain's family was small, consisting of his 2 parents and a 6-year-old sister. Rain's sister, named Sari, peeks out from behind the door. Sari has black hair and red eyes, inheriting physical traits of the Ludwig family, like Rain. Rain turns around, and Sari flees away, startled by being noticed. Rain sighs, noting it's not surprising. Rain was never kind to Sari, not that he was cruel, just indifferent to everything in the world. Rain continues reading the book. Then Lista's voice echoes in his head, telling him to show affection and not keep running away. The voice tells him he is a warm-hearted kid and will do great, causing him to slam the book shut in frustration. He then calls out to his sister, Sari, offering to teach her some magic. Looking taken aback, Sari peeks from behind the door. Rain turns his head, asking Sari if she wants to play together. But Sari just flees away without a word. Rain sighs, thinking kids are hard to understand, and he notices someone walk in. Sari returns with a large book, and Rain takes it, exclaiming that Sari, who is just 6, is already reading such a complex book. Sari gives a nervous smile at Rain. Rain recalls when Lista irritated him by pointing out all the things around, like cliffs and flowers. Rain asks Sari what she doesn't understand from the book and says he will explain since she doesn't understand anything from the beginning. He tells her that the magic circle is like playing with building blocks where different materials are needed for different houses. The shape of the magic circle determines the element of magic. A triangle is the fire element, a fan shape is the wind element. Rain explains that the next part are runes, which determine the effect of the magic. In runes, binding means to restrain and scattering means to disperse. Rain gives an example. If you inscribe the Yin rune on a triangular magic circle, it becomes a fire element binding spell. He explains to put it into practice, one can use mathematical formulas. Sari questions what math is, looking puzzled and not understanding anything. So Rain suggests they begin with basic addition and subtraction. Meanwhile, the house attendants are all surprised at seeing Rain's changed personality towards Sari. Rain's mother exclaims with happiness, and Kevin also looks pleased. They are watching as Sari falls asleep on Rain's laps, and the mother says she wants to capture that moment in a painting. Kevin mentions that Sari is quite shy, so it might not be a good idea. He notices the chart of magic and runes that Rain was teaching Sari. Kevin remarks that Rain has been a changed person since returning from the plaza, which the mother agrees with, noting Rain's mature speech as well. The mother asks if Rain might be possessed by the abyss, but Kevin disagrees, recalling a similar experience he had once. Kevin reveals that he saw Rin's body while a student and learned that Rin had reached the 5-star level in the turbulent era compared to his 3-star level. Living in the peaceful era, Kevin hadn't realized his complacency until now, suspecting Rain might share the same revelation. The wife asks if Rin's body is really frozen, and Kevin confirms, explaining Rin had mastered freezing perfectly and remains asleep, looking exactly like he did when he was 18. The wife asks for more information, but Kevin says that's all he knows and can't share anymore. After a moment of thought, Kevin mentions that Lista had left some magic in the ice. He adds that it said only Rin and Lista could awaken that magic. Kevin speculates it might be a letter in the ice. He also says he believes Rain might be a genius. Since Rain solved the magic circle that morning, which Kevin couldn't solve for a year, he thinks Rain might even reach the level of a sage. Hearing this, the wife asks Kevin if that was the reason he joined them for breakfast that day. Kevin admits that though it might be a little early, he will start teaching Rain their family's secret magic. He believes Rain can become the thieving magician, the one who can read and steal any magic. It's the bloodline-restricted magic, only allowed to those who inherited the blood of the Ludwig family. Kevin confesses he doesn't know how much he can reign, agreeing it's really difficult. The wife says it's something not to be taken lightly and asks Kevin about his plan, to which Kevin says he has something in mind. The Siastalica, a dazzling field of tulips stretching to the horizon, boasts a landscape where 1/3 of its land is owned by the Ludwig family. Rain lies on his back on the lush green grass, gazing at the perfect blue sky. Rain asserts that to journey far, one needs long-term goals, especially when seeking truth. Becoming a 7-star wizard requires relentless effort, regardless of age. No time can be wasted. Rain spreads a parchment on the grass to summon the guide first. At that moment, Sari appears behind him, asking what he is doing. Rain explains he was about to summon the magic guide, puzzling Sari, who asks about the guide. Rain mentions he will make one for Sari too, eliciting a joyful yell from her. Sari starts spinning on the spot, and Rain observes her excitement, also wondering why she isn't speaking fluently for a 6-year-old. Rain begins drawing the magic circle along with the necessary runes on the parchment. He explains that it's a high-level magic involving 4 different elements and that one needs to be a 4-star wizard to handle it. A moment later, the parchment starts glowing, and a massive beam of white energy shoots out of it into the sky. Rain realizes something is wrong as he starts bleeding from his nose and eyes. He wonders if the 4-star magic was too much for him and feels relieved it was just a guiding spell. Otherwise, combat magic could have killed him. The beam of energy dissipates as Rain notes his current body's frailty. Sari looks in amazement as Rain wipes his nose and calls for his guide. A butterfly-like creature flies and lands on Sari's extended finger. The Ruiden can quantify the user's ability and detect magical power. Rain explains to Sari that the Ruiden tells people what they need to learn and how to train. He also mentions that the rune pillar reveals one's basic magical capacity, and the rune stay shows one's proficiency in using magic. With a smile, Rain says it has all the best runes for learning, and though it might seem simple, it's still a 4-star magic spell. He asks Sari if she likes the Ruiden. Sari, still holding the Ruiden on her finger, responds affirmatively. Rain instructs Sari to go and study, which she promptly does. He decides to recover his mana before summoning the second Ruiden. The Ruiden reveals Rain has only 3,024 mana, worse than a beginner wizard. Checking his magical arithmetic and stamina, which are 77 and 64 respectively, Rain realizes he has a long way to go. The Ruiden detects the bloodline-restricted magic manual and informs Rain. Learning this new information, Rain thinks his body might not be total garbage. Rain recalls a young wizard who once challenged him while he was traveling with Lista. The young wizard wanted to prove himself as the Empire's greatest wizard and replace Rin in the party. However, the young wizard's skills weren't impressive. Rin wasn't impressed either. Nevertheless, the young wizard's eyes troubled Rain. He could see every spell Rin used and counterattack each one. Rain speculates this might be the power of the Ludwig family's bloodline limit magic, Bel Sidious. Just by seeing the flow of mana, one can tell what magic their opponent is using, making it easier to counterattack. Rain remembers the Bel Queries, the legendary eye which only 3 people in history have opened, allowing them to steal others' magic. Due to that eye, the Ludwig bloodline was known as the Thieving Wizards. Rain now believes he has found his childhood goal. Back at the mansion, Rain is engrossed in some books when Kevin walks in. Kevin asks Rain if he's taken an interest in their family's bloodline limit magic. Though it may be a bit early, Kevin inquires if Rain is interested in learning it. Rain confirms, and Kevin announces that Elin will tutor him starting that day, with Kevin personally tutoring him upon his return from the conference. Rain asks who Elin is. Kevin explains that Elin is Rain's aunt, who teaches students at Delayton and loves him more than anything. At that moment, someone in heels walks in. Rain is taken aback by the new arrival. The woman, Elin Ludwig herself, walks towards Rain, examining him closely. With a hint of malice, she remarks that she really had to come all the way there to teach the uncute little brat. Rain sweats nervously as Elin grabs his head, asking if he is ready, a malicious look on her face. Looking down at Rain, Ellen asks if he knows her, and Rain acknowledges her as Aunt Ellen. Turning away, Ellen insists Rain address her as Professor Ellen, the great genius, and warns him not to ask something she already taught. Thus began the training of the bloodline magic limit. Bloodline magic limit is not recorded to prevent theft by other magicians, requiring direct transmission of knowledge from a family mage to one's mind. Looking irritated, Ellen announces she will demonstrate and instructs Rain to pay attention. Rain observes curiously. Ellen's eyes begin to glow, giving Rain a weird feeling akin to those eyes from before. As Ellen's eyes intensify, she reveals it's the Bel Sidious, prompting Rain to crack a smile. Rain exclaims in admiration, and Ellen looks pleased. Ellen explains it's impressive, but mastery requires handling 3 spells simultaneously, dismissing Rain's ability. Rain insists he can do it, earning a laugh from Ellen for his cockiness. Satisfied with Rain's appreciation, Ellen confidently shares a few formulas, which focus on magic analysis. Rain reviews the theoretical content of the formulas. If the founder of the Ludwig family hadn't restricted the magic to his bloodline, Rain could have used it in his previous life. Ellen mocks Rain's struggle with the magic's difficulty, but Rain remains determined, needing time to grasp it. Ellen deems Rain hopeless, intending to teach him specially. Despite Ellen's skepticism, Rain expresses gratitude for her guidance, declaring he will take it from there. Ellen is shocked by Rain's confidence. She laughs, warning Rain not to be pretentious and not to come crying later. Rain ignores her, focusing on studying the formulas. Now irritated, Ellen turns away, confident Rain will fail and warning him not to seek help later. Rain delves into the theory of magic on his own while Ellen sits nearby engrossed in a book. As Rain struggles with some problems, Ellen notices and takes the parchment from him. She corrects it and hands it back to Rain before burying her face back into her book. Later, Rain faces another problem, and as before, Ellen snatches the parchment, makes corrections, and returns to her reading. Rain grows confused at Ellen's teaching style, wondering if she's testing him. Rain's mother observes him studying nearby. After some time, Ellen instructs Rain to rest and storms out of the room. Rain's mother approaches him, explaining that Aunt Ellen's unusual behavior stems from her reluctance to express her feelings honestly and her eagerness to teach Rain. She recalls Ellen's past adorableness while she used to follow her and her husband around. Lessons resume after the break, with Rain studying independently while Ellen reads. Ellen gives a quick glance at Rain, who catches her, prompting her to look away hastily. Rain finds his aunt more bothersome than 6-year-old Sari. Later, Rain admits he doesn't understand a part and asks Ellen to explain. Ellen reacts with shock at being asked and berates Rain, claiming their family is doomed. She looks over the problem and explains an alternative solution to Rain. Ellen scolds Rain for his lack of knowledge, questioning what he's been doing since age 9. Rain asks Ellen 2 more questions, irritating her, and she limits him to 1 final question. Despite Ellen's annoyance, Rain asks more questions. Rain's lessons with Ellen are consistently like this, but they accelerate his theoretical and practical learning. By the 10th day of lessons, Rain experiences searing eye pain, feeling like his head is about to burst. The world turns red, and a sign appears in Rain's glowing eyes, turning everything into numbers. Rain realizes all information is being transmitted to his brain as mathematical formulas, contemplating what it's like to be the creator of the universe. Curious to see what magic looked like, he conjures flames in his hands and see numbers on them as well. Rain realizes that the young wizard's eyes must have interpreted all his magic into numbers and formulas. Rain exclaims that it's amazing. Meanwhile, Ellen is bewildered seeing Rain achieve that level of magic in just 10 days. Even after receiving special education, it had taken Ellen 7 years to acquire Bel Sidious. The others had said it would take at least 70 years to master Bel queries. Yet, Rain achieved it in just 10 days, akin to performing multiple operations of basic magic in a blank state without prior knowledge. Astonished, Ellen believes Rain might be comparable to Rin, dubbed the god of multivariate magic. Watching Rain's eyes issue red flames, she wonders if he is. Even Rain's father finds it hard to believe that Rain opened Bel Sidious in just 10 days. Ellen remarks that if Rain continues to excel, the Ludwig family may become the leading mage family, praising his remarkable abilities. As Ellen leaves the room, Kevin admits he has nothing left to teach Rain. He then summons a person named Yuda. Yuda appears and awaits Kevin's orders. Kevin requests Yuda to send a letter to his father. Yuda inquires if Kevin refers to the previous head of the family. Kevin confirms and asks if Yuda has any objections, to which Yuda denies. In the message, Kevin seeks his father's guidance for his son, who possesses natural talent, and asks for his teachings. Yuda smiles, acknowledging Kevin's dedication to the young master, and assures him he will fulfill his request. The spring ends, and a brief summer arrives. Expected to last a year, the summer brings dark clouds and pouring rain day after day across the continent. During the summer days, Rain is extremely busy. First, he learns household magic from Ellen. Then, he teaches basic magic to Sari whenever he gets the chance. And during the night, he focuses on training his physical and magical abilities. The development of modern magic in the last 300 years, Rain learns from Ellen in books, was remarkable. Due to the establishment of extremely complex formulas in simple form, casting time has decreased, and the power has become much stronger. Now, Rain's magic surpasses what it was 300 years ago, and he believes he can defeat a modern 4th-rank mage. With time, Rain's magic also grew, but to become a 7th-rank mage is impossible in his current state. For that, he needs much stronger power and more knowledge. One day, Rain asks his father for a favor. He requests Kevin to send him to the magical world, where he can graduate in about 3 years. His mother questions his decision, and Rain confirms his desire to go. Rain wants to attend the top university, Delayton, in the magical world Golden Rose, and he asks Kevin for permission. Kevin denies the request, stating Rain is too young at 10 years old, and there are more important matters for him to focus on, so leaving home is too early for him. He says that the mage's children enter Delayton at the age of 6, and even if Rain goes there, it will be too early to admit him. And Kevin says Rain has much more important matters to attend to. Holding up an envelope, he says his father has sent Rain a letter. Ellen chokes on her steak and coughs loudly hearing this. Kevin tells Ellen to wipe her mouth before she speaks. Rain is also surprised to learn about his grandfather, while Sari continues pulling on his clothes and cheeks. Kevin says that in the Ludwig family, his father is also one of the founders of Bell Queries. Rain thinks his prediction was correct, and the creator of Bell Queries is Scala Ludwig. Kevin informs Rain that his grandfather will personally teach him Bell Queries, and he tells Rain he should go and see his grandfather first. So, Rain travels in a horse-drawn carriage to meet his grandfather. He walks into the big mansion, following his father. Kevin tells Rain he has something to take care of and suggests he go and greet his grandfather. Rain goes to meet his grandfather and sees him standing inside a room. The grandfather is looking out of a window as he senses Rain. The grandfather raises his 2 fingers and activates a spell. The spell startles Rain, causing cups and trays on a nearby table to shake, including the chandelier. Rain, shocked, wonders what his grandfather is trying to do. The grandfather, his head bowed slightly, looks serious as a triangular-shaped spell appears in his hand. Rain tries to think before doing anything as he, too, produces a circular spell in his hand. Both of them stare at each other. The grandfather raises his head, his eyes glowing red. Rain's panicked face is visible as he stares at his serious-looking grandfather, his spell ready. Suddenly, his readied spell disappears, which greatly shocks him. The grandfather says that's Bell Queries. He claims he can see all types of magic Rain can cast and can control it freely, his eyes blazing. Rain gives a nervous smile and exclaims wow, prompting the grandfather to laugh and ask if he wants to try it too. The grandfather deactivates his eyes' flames, stating that mastering Bell Queries isn't the end. Casters must fully understand it, asking Rain his magic level. Rain replies he can barely perform a 3rd-rank magic, to which the grandfather says that's impressive. The grandfather says that Bell Queries requires immense magical power and tells Rain he has a long way to go. With a confident smile, Rain says it's just long and not unachievable as he requests his grandfather to teach him the path to reach that level. The grandfather says the training will be difficult, but that's how Rain can learn properly as Kevin gives a smile. Grandfather apologizes to Rain for his rough first impression and welcomes him sincerely. He then addresses Kevin and invites him to a drink. Taken aback with the invitation, Kevin turns around and bows to his father. Outside, Rain is training with his grandfather. The grandfather, producing a huge energy ball in his hand, tells Rain to stop and that he must be able to use Bell Queries freely. He instructs Rain to analyze the magic and not miss it, which Rain agrees. Saying so, the grandfather shoots the energy ball towards Rain, telling him to move quickly as Rain jumps aside. Grandfather is impressed with Rain's talent to learn so quickly and deems him a genius for learning a month's worth of skills in just 1 day. He asks Rain what his original training regimen was like, telling him he needs to risk his life to increase his growth rate. Rain, who is running around, says he got it. The grandfather says he will cast a fireball as a swirl of fire appears above his hand. He tells Rain if he can't avoid it, he will die. Saying so, he hurls the fireball towards Rain, shouting now's the time. Rain stops running, and his eyes glow golden as he shouts Bell Cedius. The massive fireball flies towards Rain, and the grandfather shouts at him to hurry up. Rain, whose eyes are still glowing, sees the fireball and thinks he should intercept it with Belcedius and manipulate the fight with Belquirius. As the fireball closes on Rain, the grandfather shouts his name. Rain's eyes widen as a heptagon symbol appears in his retina. And finally, Rain sees the surrounding represented in numbers. His eyes darken as he sees numbers around the massive fireball close to his face. He realizes the Belquirius has been activated, converting all things into equations and transmitting into his brain. And now he decides to try changing the equations in front of him as he wishes. The magical array of the spell to achieve such a task consists of 2 triangles. The assigned rune symbol is a formulating ludicin, its size 17 axles, and the range 23 gimite. He changes the equation using the imaginary roots, causing the fireball to disintegrate into nothing. The grandfather watches in anticipation as Rain begins falling down. The grandfather catches him on time. Looking exhausted, Rain asks if he managed to do it. The grandfather, with a smile, tells Rain he did well and informs him all he needs to do now is increase his magical power. Moreover, he is astonished to see Rain mastered Belquirius just at the age of 14. He reveals he was 39 when he barely reached Rain's level and believes Rain is a genius who might overrule the history of the Empire. The grandfather tells Rain he won't interfere in his life but asks him a favor. He tells Rain to be sure to get admitted to Delayton when turning 16. Rain, however, is not interested in the Magic Academy Delayton. Grandfather explains to Rain that if he graduates as the top student, he will have a chance to have an audience with the Archmage Rin. Rain says he isn't curious, to which the grandfather says he felt the same way. And he tells Rain about a letter left by the hero Lista and asks Rain if he isn't curious about it. Rain is shocked to hear this. The grandfather tells Rain no one has opened the Belquirius at his age and is confident with his abilities. He should be able to read the contents of the letter. At first, Rain was just stunned and speechless from the shock learning this, but it was actually the beginning. Following the letter left by Lista, a story of a journey that follows the traces of old comrades commences. As Rain gets ready to leave, his mother asks if he will be okay, worried as he leaves without an escort. Kevin says Rain's skills are good and he shouldn't meet any danger on the national highways. Rain wonders if he will be able to recall the current conversation as a memory when he thinks about it someday. 15 days have passed since Rain's journey, and he is at the Jerem region, southern part of the Holy Empire. He witnessed numerous inns and bars in the small town. Everyone he saw was wearing hats. A drunk stranger asks Rain why he isn't wearing a hat and if he doesn't know about Rin Top. Rain asks what Rin Top is, and the drunk man says long ago their founding leader received help from Archmage Rin. Since then, people have worn hats as a gesture of gratitude to Rin, which the drunk man calls cool and a grand history. Rain wonders who might be the founding leader and hopes he might remember when he hears the name. He also wonders why such great merchants are stuck in a village like this. Rain learns of a problem at the intersection leading to Sunway Road where monsters have appeared, causing dozens of people to go missing. The man says the villagers are waiting for Lord Nori to send an expeditionary force. Upon hearing about monsters, Rain recalls them as living forces influenced by the abyss, resembling animals but possessing a more grotesque appearance and ferocious magical power. Clutching his fist, flames flicker around it as he advances toward the monsters, hoping they aren't the formidable ones that could endanger him. The night has fallen. As Rain walks along the road, he feels the monsters' gaze and puzzles why they aren't attacking. He thinks maybe the monsters sense the difference in magical power with their instincts. He is confident he can defeat them if they are that weak, but claims it's not his business. He believes the expeditionary force will handle the situation, so he continues on his path and decides to go by land road. The land road reminds him of his past memory. Lista had suggested the party continue and move towards Turbinopol where there's an amazing flower garden, suggesting they stop by on the way. Rin had shouted, asking what they were doing. He had reminded his companions about 2 parties who crossed over to the continent and were wiped out fighting at the front lines. He mentioned the front lines were at a stalemate, waiting for reinforcements, and chided his 3 companions for not grasping the situation. He had reiterated the arrival of the Red and Yellow Dragon Corps and the most formidable mercenaries sailing for honor and glory, so he had suggested they needed to hurry as well. Rin had noted that after the strong ones left, monsters started rampaging across the continent, ranging from C to B rank danger levels, stressing it's not the time for trivial concerns like flowers. Lista had comforted Rin by reminding him of the countless people in need worldwide and the abundance of issues requiring assistance. Lista had hoped Rin would grow into an adult and help those people. Currently, Rain has his hands over his eyes, as he recalls the above memories and says though Lista died 300 years ago, she still nags like nothing's changed. Tired from walking for long, Rain decides to take a rest. Sitting down, he uses a spell and summons a creature, commanding it to go and find something. As the creature goes away, Rain waits patiently. He waits more, and he had told the creature to bring the thing back to him. Suddenly, a long shadowy form appears in the sky. The shadowy thing slams down into the ground in front of Rain. Rain watches the thing and sees a monster with many eyes, with an anaconda-like thing coiled around its body. The monster's eyes are huge as it gives a roar. Looking at the monster, Rain thinks, how can that be considered a threat? He says he has dealt with countless monsters like this before. As the anaconda tightly coils around its body, emitting a loud yell, Rain demands that the monster promise not to harm people in exchange for its release. The monster gives another roar, and Rain says the monster might not listen anyway. So the anaconda increases the pressure around the monster, causing it to be torn to pieces. Rain walks away from the dead monster's body, saying he didn't do that to help the people but to kill time. The border between the central and southern parts of the empire was known as Bardancho Mountains in the past. As Rain sets his foot there, he is greeted by a number of monsters. They are low demon beasts who look at Rain with contempt, charging at him. Out of nowhere, a lot of arrows come flying and strike the monsters, startling Rain. Rain turns around to see someone behind him. There are two people holding large bows in their hands. Rain is shocked to see them as he recognizes one of them as Keese. Rain stares at the two strangers carrying bows and finds the guy among them to resemble Keese. The female jumps down from the small cliff, asking Rain if he is okay. Rain smells alcohol. She says monsters appear at this place and asks Rain if nobody warned him. The guy also jumps down and says they are the descendants of the Imperial Palace, protecting that place. Rain thinks the person cannot be Keese as he tells them he is grateful for their help. He asks them if this place is the Bardancho Mountains. The two strangers stare at each other and then start laughing loudly. Looking annoyed, Rain asks them why they are laughing. The guy says that the name of the mountain has changed to Keeslinton and asks Rain why he is still looking for the Bardancho Mountains. Keeslinton means Castle Siege Keese Mountains, and it seems after defeating the Abyss, Keese must have established roots there. The two strangers must be the disciples of the archery faction established by Keese. It is said that skilled individuals traditionally guard the valley. Rain wonders if the basic principle of the faction is drunken archery and muses at what Keese might have taught. The guy tells Rain he came at the right time, as a festival is being held where everyone can drink for free, suggesting he recognized the taste of alcohol to be an adult. He tells Rain that alcohol is a path to the sun and the moon, while the girl, irritated, tells the guy he turned out to be a very refined man. She tells the guy to stop talking nonsense and focus on protecting the place, but the guy says how can they leave Rain alone there? The guy says he will take Rain to the village entrance and come back, then runs away holding Rain. The path is covered in fallen leaves as Rain and the guy make their way along it. Rain walks in silence while the guy constantly chatters. The guy tells Rain if they go up the wooden stairs nearby, they will find a seal, and if he follows the straight road there, he will reach the destination. At the bottom of the staircase, Rain notices a stone slab raised from the ground. The stone slab has strange symbols and language inscribed on it. Rain is starstruck seeing the stone. The guy tells Rain he can make a wish there, causing Rain to question him about it. The guy asks if Rain really doesn't know, saying it might be hard to recognize without people around, leaving Rain confused and asking what he means. The guy tells Rain the stone slab is the tomb of Lord Keese and that everyone makes a wish there for protection. Rain tells the guy not to joke around, and the guy says he isn't. Rain says it's strange for anyone to build a tomb in the middle of the mountain and questions if Lord Keese was a great man. The guy is amazed that Rain doesn't know the story behind the tomb and asks Rain if he is really from this country. The guy asks Rain if he knows about Lord Keese's colleague, the Grand Wizard Rin. He says that Rin might have been a shy person and that it is believed Lord Keese thought Lord Rin would come back even after death. Because of Rin's shyness, Lord Keese had asked people to bury him alone in the forest so that Rin wouldn't get shy to visit him. Rain has another flashback when he complained to Keese about his snoring and the smell of alcohol. Keese had grabbed onto Rin's head, who protested furiously. Rin had taught Keese how to write a letter. Keese had again put his hand on Rin's head, causing Rin to slap his hand away in anger, warning him not to touch his head. At present, Rain puts his hand on his head, remembering these flashbacks. The voice of Keese reverberates inside Rain's head, telling him it is an eternal farewell as Rain stares at the tomb. The voice tells Rain they will never meet again. But Rain says no, that's not true. Rain had definitely promised to return and promised to see Keese again. A corpse of Keese flashes in Rain's eyes, reminding him of his promise. Rain gets startled and sprints away. Looking stunned, he runs away from the tomb, his face in horror. He stumbles on a root and slams his face on the ground. Still with his face on the ground, he grabs a handful of fallen leaves and gives a huge yell. Rain sits on the edge of a cliff, staring down. He wants to turn around and go to Keith's grave. He wants to say goodbye, though it's late. He has returned. He remembers the faces of his 3 companions and expresses his apology towards them. The moon is bright in the sky, and a black crow sits on a branch. Rain is on his back, lying on the stony surface, his legs dangling from the cliff. Past memories flood his mind, like when Keith complimented him for being able to see clearly in darkness. Another memory is when he asked how Keith fit in when drunk, and Rin replied saying she didn't know. Remembering the time when Rin told Keith to rest and drink quickly, Rain smiles. In the next memory, Lista told Rin she couldn't talk because Keith didn't give permission. Another memory of a night when Rin and others had trouble sleeping because of Keith's snores flashes in his mind. Rain's smile widens as he remembers Keith saying he is quiet but sleepy when he goes to sleep. The memory of when he died suddenly appears in Rain's vision. The saddened faces of his companions float before his eyes when he was dying. Now in the present, Rain covers his eyes with his hand, tears leaking. As he remembers Keith's face, Rain begins to cry loudly. The night breeze makes the leaves fly around as Rain lies on his back, weeping. A while later, Rain stands up and walks away. He walks towards Keith's tomb, small grasses and fallen leaves surrounding it. Rain raises his hand, activating a spell. A triangular symbol appears before his fist. He points it at the tomb, summoning fire as he smashes his fist into the ground. The fire causes all the leaves and grass to completely burn. The fire spreads, causing the leaves all around to burn to a crisp. Rain stands amidst the fire, looking grim. As the fire settles, there is no grass or leaves around Keith's tomb. His hand still issuing flames, Rain stares at the tomb in silence. As the sun rises, its light reflects off the tomb, causing it to shine. A while later, Rain turns on his heels and walks away from the tomb. As he walks away, Rain apologizes to Keith, claiming he isn't shy but lacks the courage to face him and ask for his forgiveness. Rain struggles to say more, showing deep remorse for not being able to keep his promise to Keith. The sun is high in the sky now, and Rain is sweating as the autumn in the south was unusually hot. Under such a summer-like autumn sky, Rain arrives at a huge city bustling with numerous people. It's the magical city Golden Rose, where the Magic Academy, Delayton, is located at its heart. Rain had been very curious about the city, but seeing it live, it didn't meet his expectations. In the streets, Rain sees a man selling magic books. Walking ahead, he also sees other people selling different tools and items. All the knowledge of the world flows through Golden Rose. Rain asks a trader how much for an item, holding it up. The trader says it costs 10 copper, and Rain exclaims at just 10 copper. Rain says he will take one, holding a red crystal. The trader tells Rain the clock tower bell is ringing, reminding him the exam will start soon. Rain hands over the copper to the trader as he remembers he had come to Delayton to take the exam. Suddenly, Rain hears a commotion behind him and turning around sees a thief running away. As the thief flees, Rain thinks the security there isn't good. He believes the guards will take care of the thief and focuses on his exam. At that moment, an old woman stumbles and falls down in front of Rain. Rain asks the woman if she is okay. The old woman shouts at the thief, demanding he return it, as it's not for sale and is her family's legacy needed for her grandson's entrance exam. Rain watches as the woman begs for the thief to return her belonging. However, Rain doesn't decide to help as his entrance exam is about to happen. As he begins to walk away, a voice in his head tells him to help the woman. He halts, conscious of Lista telling him to help. So Rain decides to help, asking the woman about the thief and instructing her to wait as he goes after the culprit. The old woman watches in amazement as Rain leaps towards the thief. He jumps from roof to roof, chasing after the thief, as people look up at Rain in disbelief. Annoyed at the thief's busyness, Rain threatens to turn him into a charcoal briquette as his arm crackles with electricity. Suddenly, someone comes running after Rain, telling him to get out of the way and grabs his shoulders. A small girl jumps in front of Rain, telling him to get out of the way. The girl jumps down at the thief, conjuring a spell in the process. A small circular bright light appears above the girl's hand and below, sand begins to fly and surround the thief. Taken aback, the thief exclaims in worry at the sand. In seconds, a huge turret of sand forms in the street. The girl jumps on the raised turret and tells the thief below he was brave for trying pickpocketing in the Golden Rose but picked the wrong day. Rain stares at the girl, taken aback by her arrival. The girl declares to the thief he is doomed, looking down at him from her turret of sand. She tells the thief he has been caught by her, who is a sand soldier, looking proud. Rain recognizes the girl to be an illegitimate child of the Warden family. Warden is a powerful family in the Eastern Territory, one of the top 5 mage families along with the Ludwig family. Rain had met the girl a few times at sage meetings before he regained memories of his previous life. During their meetings, The girl had mocked and made fun of Rain and given him a lecture, so he used to call her nerd. Seeing that girl wear a school uniform, Rain is puzzled as he believes they are of the same age. Suddenly, the thief attacks the girl, causing her sand turret to blow away with his magic. A swirl of sandstorm-like appears on the streets, causing people to panic. A child gets blown off, shouting for help from his mom. Rain manages to catch the child using a root from the ground and returns him safely to his mother using magic. Rain's eyes blaze with flames as he realizes the thief is a mage as well, with a decent amount of mana. His attention is caught by an item the thief is wearing on his left hand. The girl prepares a counterattack, saying the equipment is too good for a thief and challenging if he can block her next attack. The girl's next magic spell startles both the thief and Rain as Rain realizes it's 2-star magic and is surprised by the incredible surge of mana. The girl creates a star-shaped thing between her hands, glowing golden light, and she joins the hands, sending a blinding flash of light all around. The ground begins to shake as the people around feel it. Just like the Ludwig family is called thieving mages, the Warden family is called wielding mages. The ground is cracked from the girl's spell. The ground splits open, sending small stones and dust upwards into the sky. The stones and sand all assemble together, forming a massive sandstone golem. The thief mocks the girl for showing off, while the girl smiles, looking proud. The golem's eyes blaze as the thief cracks a smile. He raises his arm and bellows out that with the items he is wearing, he is invincible. Saying so, he attacks the golem with a spell, causing the girl to give a worried look as he continues to smile. The glow in the golem's eyes disappears as smoke bellows out from its body. But a moment later, its eyes glow again, and the girl smiles instead. She confidently asks the thief if he thought he could defeat her with that kind of attack, while the golem behind prepares to smash her with its fist. Her confidence fades to worry as her eyes shift nervously, while the thief's evil smile grows, a dark glow emanating from the items on his arm. After a blinding flash of light, numerous bolts of gold and crackling electricity appear behind the golem. The thief gives a shocked look, as do the girl's eyes widen in shock. Rain appears in front of the girl, his hand raised as the golem's left hand gets blown off. Rain advises the shaken thief that casting a spell first doesn't guarantee victory, electricity crackling around his raised fist as he stands in front of the puzzled-looking girl. The thief screws his face in shock as Rain tells him casting a spell doesn't guarantee victory. The girl is surprised to see Rain appear before her. Meanwhile, Rain's face is focused, a magic circle above his hand. The thief commands the golem, and the golem raises its huge arm and brings it down. Rain creates a magic square pattern, a circle with a rune engraved on it which is fierce. He raises both his hands and, pointing the circle at the golem, makes a huge amount of water appear from it, hitting the golem. The water then trickles down, wetting Rain and the girl both, as the girl asks Rain if he is a water attribute wizard. Suddenly a huge shadow falls on them, and they look up. The girl says that though the water attribute is critical against the earth attribute, her golem can't be defeated with 1-star magic. The thief laughs and mocks Rain, saying he was acting too confident, asking if that's all he's got. Rain and the girl stand below, towered by the golem, and the thief continues mocking Rain for not knowing what he is doing. Suddenly the golem launches an attack at them on the thief's command, who shouts for them to die. Rain quickly summons another magic circle above his hands. He then fires another jet of water from the disc, which meets with the golem's punch, stopping it. The girl standing at the back reminds Rain his magic won't work. The thief, now pissed, shouts at Rain to stop trying and die quickly. But Rain keeps the circle raised, and the powerful jet of water continues bellowing upwards, stopping the golem's punch. Rain gives a troubled expression, struggling to hold back the golem's punch. Suddenly, the golem withdraws its punch and steps aside. The thief watches astonished, his eyes widening. Meanwhile, the golem turns towards the girl and aims a punch at her. Rain swiftly jumps in between and grabs the girl out of the punch. The golem's punch strikes the water-covered ground, damaging its hand. The thief's mouth widens in shock as the golem's hand shatters into pieces and it slams down. Rain breaks his fall by using his hands and legs to stop himself, while the girl is sent flying backwards. The thief uses another controlling spell as Rain realizes that you can't use your own magic while intercepting and using others' magic. The girl shouts at Rain, asking why he just grabbed her. Rain creates a star-shaped symbol between his hands. The girl watches in surprise at Rain's star-shaped symbol. Rain tries to use Previs calculus to solve the mathematical formula and solves the puzzle, causing the star-shaped symbol to shine bright and grow larger into an octagon shape. He mutters alter fate as the symbol between his hands starts to grow bigger and glow even brighter. Rain then throws the symbol towards the golem. Suddenly, large tentacle-like roots emerge from the ground, binding themselves to the golem's body parts, horrifying the thief. Soon, the roots have pinned the golem down to the ground, binding its numerous parts. The roots grow further, and even leaves start sprouting. The thief shouts in shock as the roots emerge from the ground at his feet, sweating in fear as the speechless girl stares at Rain. Rain walks towards the thief and snatches the artifact from his wrist. Examining the artifact, Rain deems it interesting and accuses the thief of stealing it. Examining the artifact, Rain speculates it might possess powers akin to Belsidius for nullifying magic control and wonders if its 2 magic squares enable the theft of up to 2-star magic. Looking terrified, the thief asks Rain who he is and how he can use magic so quickly. But Rain turns away, thinking even if he reveals his identity, the thief won't believe him. Rain walks towards the old woman who watches in shock. Telling the old woman to be careful then on, Rain hands over the artifact to her. Rain gives a smile as the woman begins weeping in happiness. The spectators watching cheer, praising Rain with kind words, and Rain looks pleased. Suddenly, Rain remembers the entrance exam. Without delay, he sprints away, leaving the thief there. A sword points at the thief, and a woman in a cloak stands before him. The woman in the cloak addresses the girl as Krista, inquiring if she made a mistake. The stranger removes the cloak to reveal a woman, Professor Caroline. Caroline praises Krista's confidence but admonishes her for reckless golem use. Krista vows to be more careful next time. Krista asks Caroline if she saw the guy whose magic casting speed was as fast as her, and Caroline confirms she did, believing his casting speed was faster than hers. Krista asks what happened, saying Rain didn't seem that strong during the Sage Council. Caroline questions why Rain was there if he came for the entrance exam, causing Krista to ask her what she means. Caroline says the entrance exam started a long time ago. Meanwhile, Rain continues sprinting towards the exam, alarmed. Caroline considers for a moment and agrees with Krista. At the professor's office, Caroline goes through Rain's documents, noting his lack of awards from any magic competitions or other notable achievements. She discovers Rain is the supposed prodigy rumored to be sent to the Ludwig family by the heavens. Going further into Rain's files, Caroline sees that he worked as a teaching assistant under Scaldi Ludwig for 3 years. Scaldi Ludwig is known as a master of elemental magic and even a ruler of Magic City. Caroline knows that Scaldi isn't someone to give special treatment to family members. If someone doesn't perform well, Scaldi Ludwig will dismiss them without a thought. Caroline wonders why Rain is called a prodigy within the 8 great schools if he was a teaching assistant of Scaldi. After contemplating, Caroline summons the assistant Baden and instructs him to schedule a meeting with the Chancellor to discuss a specific admission case. It seems like history repeats itself, and talent always seems to come in waves. The newly admitted students are all exceptional from different schools. The warden had sent details of an exceptional student, but he might struggle alone. The conflict between noble families and the 8 great schools runs deep, making it uncomfortable to intervene in student disputes, but they can't ignore the current unique situation. The Chancellor of Delayton, Medelia Page, suggests they notify the professors and instructors to keep a close eye on students and intervene if necessary. Seeing Professor Caroline silent, Medelia asks her what's wrong. Caroline asks if it's too early to make that judgment, prompting Medelia to ask for a detailed explanation. Caroline reveals that Krista isn't the only prodigy the magical noble family sent. Medelia asks if there is a new student she doesn't know about, and Caroline says no. Medelia questions Caroline about the student she wants to admit through an extra test, and Caroline cryptically responds, reminding her she met that student at the Sage Council. Medelia tells Caroline to speak clearly and not in circles, so Caroline suggests admitting Rain Ludwig and not interfering afterward. Caroline wonders how Rain and Krista would behave, while Medelia contemplates. Medelia says they will find out soon enough and explains that Owen is their strict instructor and homeroom teacher. She asks Caroline if Rain really didn't want any rewards, and Caroline affirms, explaining Rain didn't want people's attention. Caroline says Rain just wanted to read books, causing Medelia to call him a strange fellow. Caroline says strange people often become good wizards, as their master always said, and she inquires about Medelia's solemn behavior that day. Medelia praises Caroline for her sharp noticing skills. Medelia explains that the thief Rain caught might have ties to the Dark Church. Caroline, shocked, says that can't be, but Medelia insists she never speaks without evidence and mentions that the Special Division told her, adding that they are coming soon. Medelia expresses her concerns regarding the matter and tells Caroline to be prepared. Rain received his acceptance notice after missing the test due to being late. The next morning, after the commotion, Professor Caroline informed him it would be like taking an extra exam, and he would be added to the list of successful candidates. Caroline seemed worried that Rain taking extra exams might bring dishonor to his family, so he accepted Caroline's offer on the spot and joined a top magic university. And now Rain finds himself at the gate of Delayton. As he walks through the school corridor, Rain admits he had never been connected to schools before. In his past life, he was taught by the head of the Osiris school, and in his current life, he learned from his family. Even after joining the school, Rain feels no need to learn from others. His sole focus is finding what Lista left behind, awaiting him. So, he needs to level up his skills to equal those he had in his previous life. Suddenly, Krista calls out for Rain in the corridor. Rain turns around and awkwardly greets Krista. Krista recognizes Rain and thanks him for helping her before she scolds him. She tells Rain she could have handled the situation alone, and at that moment, the other students recognize Krista. Seeing all the attention Krista is getting, Rain remarks that she's pretty famous, to which Krista proudly claims that anyone who doesn't know her name is probably a spy. With a smile, Krista declares Rain as her rival and tells him to consider himself lucky. Hearing they are rivals, Rain admits he can't stand annoying things. But seeing Krista's behavior, Rain remembers someone from his past life. In the flashback, a girl named Gisela, whom Rin met at the Magic Tower, had told Rin she would take him as a rival and demanded his respect. That girl was so full of herself, Rain still remembers her in his new life. Thinking about the flashback, Rain cracks a smile, which Krista notices, asking if he is mocking her. Krista tells Rain that if he thinks he knows everything, he will regret it as she summons a rectangular symbol. She clenches her fist, causing a huge tornado-like wind to appear around her and Rain. The wind grows stronger, causing trouble for other students as Rain wonders what Krista is doing there. Krista asks Rain if he must know her true abilities and if he is ready to put in some real effort. Meanwhile, Rain wonders if Krista even cares about her surroundings and finds her similar to Gisela, thinking she must be a reincarnation. Rain thinks he should show his fire spell to Krista. At that moment, another student walks in, asking Rain and Krista if they are putting on a show. He identifies Krista as the top incoming student and Rain as the prodigy who barely got in through an extra exam. Asking if the theme is extreme contracts with a grin on his face, the approaching student is Rupert. Rain and Krista look sideways and see Hubert standing there. Hubert, who is from the Rowynham school, and Krista have been rivals for a while. Hubert tells Krista to keep going, but Krista says she can't continue with a lame audience like Hubert. Krista says she will feel bad if her magic blows off Hubert and tells him to show gratitude for her consideration. Hubert sarcastically says he is grateful and about to cry, and tells Krista it's pathetic to give big talks and she should know her place. Krista mocks Hubert as a runner-up and challenges him, while Hubert warns her that her attitude will disgrace her family's name. Meanwhile, Hubert notices Rain standing there and makes fun of him, claiming he didn't notice him as his presence is little. Seeing Rain stare, Hubert asks if he has something on his face or if something he said rubbed him the wrong way. Calmly, Rain tells Hubert nothing rubbed him the wrong way and asks who he is to be acting big. Hubert seems speechless as Rain asks if he can even use magic and tells him if he wants to pick a fight, he better be good. Hubert seems taken aback, as do the other students spectating, and he calls Rain a brat and questions what he said. Meanwhile, Krista gives a loud laugh. She jeers at Hubert for getting shit-talked by Rain and says she would be embarrassed if it was her. At that moment, a woman from the nearby door bellows at the students to get to class quickly and tells Krista, the new student representative, to prepare for her oath. Krista says she is coming, while Hubert looks speechless. Before leaving, Krista tells Rain she'll let him off this time but reminds him they'll settle it next time. The other students, hearing Krista talk about fighting with Rain, believe Rain has no chance and it's not fair. But two students say that it's fair and that Krista would have a hard time against Rain. Another student asks what they mean, and one explains that Rain was the assistant to Principal Scaldi and is really strong. All students gather in the hall as the host announces the start of the 1388th Delayton University entrance ceremony. Hubert looks uninterested while other students look excited, and Rain, looking bored, hopes it will end soon. A while later, the host announces that the Chancellor will deliver the welcoming speech. The Chancellor, Medelia Page, walks onto the stage who is the greatest wizard in the Empire. She eyes the students with interest, causing them to become nervous. Rain looks at the Chancellor and acknowledges her as the greatest wizard in the Empire and a direct descendant of Amista Page, the founder of magic. He notices her purple hair and believes it must be genetic. Medelia welcomes the new students to Delayton and introduces herself as the Chancellor of the university. She congratulates the 233 new students and reveals that half won't make it past the second year due to being held back back or expelled. The students are startled as Medelia states that out of the remaining 117, only 60 will advance to the third year, with half of them graduating. That leaves fewer than 30 who will graduate. The students give worried looks, and Medelia says Delayton is a place where their talents will be refined, transforming them from raw gems into jewels. She says that Delayton's policy is unlimited competition, and those who cannot keep up with the competition will not even qualify for a diploma. She tells them they will feel the impact of the place through their experience and bellows at them to hone their skills. She advises the students to clash with each other, break and grow, transforming themselves from ordinary raw stones to shining with brilliance. She hopes they'll meet again in 3 years, when she'll welcome them as a senior wizard, not as chancellor. She closes her speech by wishing them luck. The students, at first speechless, break into a round of applause. They begin cheering at Medelia, who gives a proud look. Rain also joins in clapping and looks forward to being there in 3 years' time. Standing on the railings above the hall and looking down are the professors. Professor Caroline, impressed by the commotion, says she likes the energy of the students. She asks the man standing beside her, Professor Owen, what he thinks. Owen says he had expected high levels from the new batch, but is disappointed to see them all as a bunch of fools with empty heads. Caroline asks what he means, and Owen says everyone will get an automatic fail. With a parchment in hand, Rain stares ahead. He ponders if the massive building with a dragon on its roof is the university building. He acknowledges its immense size. Walking along the corridor toward the classroom, he maintains his pace. Noticing a sign indicating the classroom, he heads inside. Upon entering, he observes that it's empty. Taking a seat near the window, he settles in. Sitting down, he gazes out, the wind rustling the curtains. Satisfied, he becomes lost in thought. Suddenly, a voice behind him mentions they're in the same classroom and suggests they get along. Rain turns, shocked to see Krista waving at him. Disappointed at his luck, he clasps his hands to his face, realizing he'll have to compete with Krista from the very first class. Krista expresses her pleasure at sitting beside Rain, anticipating knocking the arrogance out of him from day one. At that moment, Hubert approaches, expressing his happiness. He remarks on Krista's rudeness and lack of manners, especially as she points at others. The girl with purple hair mentions to Hubert that it's part of Krista's charm. She adds that even without it, Krista is quite charming, unlike Hubert, who is merely fancy packaging. Meanwhile, Rain feels irritated by their conversation, sensing he might become sick. He recalls a conversation from his previous life when Frida had asked if he ever wanted to go to school, to which he had replied negatively. Justifying his stance as a 4-star wizard, Rain had deemed school a waste of time, prompting Frida to call him an idiot. Frida had explained that school isn't just for academics but also for learning about people. Observing people like Krista and Hubert, Rain questions if he really needs to learn about individuals like them. As the class is about to start, a huge hand grabs the door, and a massive man enters. Startled by the man's size, Rain compares him to a gorilla, questioning if he's really the teacher. The tension is palpable among the students. Krista informs Rain that the man is Professor Owen, strict about grades. Owen observes the students' curious reactions. Noticing smiles and yawns, he looks disappointed. Owen laments having to teach such unmotivated students. He calls them a bunch of monkeys with empty heads. Spotting a student not paying attention, he throws chalk, hitting him. Continuing the gaze at the students, Owen notices the girl with purple hair smiling. Rain and Krista silently watch Owen. Owen berates the students, calling them pathetic and ignorant. He reminds them that admission to Delayton doesn't mean they own the world and questions their future goals. Owen tells them that if they achieve greatness, they can address him as master, but for now, they are nothing but baby monkeys with much to learn. He asks if any are from the 8 great schools. A few raise their hands. Owen labels them the worst part. He dismisses the students' bizarre formulas as pathetic, stating he doesn't expect their contribution and warns them not to hinder him. He asks if any are from magical noble families. Rain and Krista raise their hands. Owen deems them absolutely revolting. He scolds them for their arrogance and lack of real-life experience, suggesting they return home and learn basic skills. Rain admires Owen's talent for insults, likening him to a cult leader. Owen declares his job is to mold the students into useful wizards, considering them no better than monkeys. He declares that the classroom has no place for anyone worse than a monkey and vows to drop anyone who can't keep up. With no response from the students, he questions if they're half asleep. He wonders if he needs to teach them how to answer. Owen approaches a student, asking if he is scary, to which the student replies he isn't. Then he questions the student if he thinks of him as a pushover. He announces an immediate test, instructing students to pair up with their seatmate. Owen warns that anyone who comes last will be expelled. With a serious demeanor, Owen instructs the students to prepare. The students are astounded to hear about the possibility of expulsion. Hubert thinks the professor is bluffing. Rain and Krista watch in silence. Professor Owen starts writing something on the blackboard and slams it with a punch once done. He gives the students 20 minutes to solve the problem on the board and hand it to him. He warns that anyone who can't finish in time or comes last will be expelled. Seeing the students watch in horror, Owen questions what they are staring at and declares the test has already begun. The students start working to solve the problems, panic-stricken as Owen mentions even monkeys can solve a 2-star magic. Rain remains calm, while Krista is deep in thought. Krista begins analyzing the question and tries to figure out the formula to use. She mutters she will build the basic formula and use a function to get the answer. She shouts at Rain to stop talking and write. Remembering her family's condition, Krista realizes she is all they have, and she needs to raise the honor of her house. She declares she will be the best. Rain pities Krista, feeling she carries a heavy burden. Krista asks Rain if he found the answer, and Rain confirms he did. Rain hands the solution to Krista. Suddenly, a strong wind blows from the nearby window. Rain and Krista are surprised by the sudden gust of wind. Someone appears to be using a spell, causing Rain and Krista's answer paper to tear apart, and a gust of wind blows it out of the window. Krista shouts out in dismay. Professor Owen scolds Krista for being too loud and tells her to be quiet. Krista, looking worried, realizes she needs to start over again. Rain activates the ring of silence and his eyes glow red. With enhanced eyesight, he notices a wisp of transparent white smoke-like thing coming from Hubert. The royal family's secret weapon, a wind spell, is voiceless and colorless, triggering magic without sound or color. Rain deduces it must have been a wind spell. Krista urges Rain to hurry and hand over his paper so she can rewrite it quickly. Rain notes the time limit is only 8 minutes but believes he can solve the problem in that time. Snatching the paper from Krista's hand, Rain explains it's too much for her method to finish in time. Rain insists she needs to learn to give up while Krista curses him in annoyance. Rain asserts he can do it and tells Krista her way isn't possible. He grabs his pen and starts solving the problem at great speed. As he solves the problem, Rain tells Krista that having a mental breakdown won't make her a wizard, urging her to remain calm. He reminds Krista that she needs to stay calm to become a strong wizard, watching her in astonishment. Then Rain recalls his past life battling monsters where even a second's delay caused death, not just expulsion from school. He declares he will lead and tells Krista to follow, urging her not to hold her breath. Hubert and his benchmate finish the test, walking out of their seats with a smirk. Hubert hands the paper to Professor Owen, requesting it to be marked, who takes it. Owen uses a spell to evaluate Hubert's solutions. The paper hovers in the air as a huge cloud-like smoke billows out of it. Owen comments that the runes are working and it's not bad for such a short time. Hubert and his benchmate look pleased, but Owen warns them not to get cocky, pointing out they didn't do everything right. Owen states that 2 minutes are enough to solve this kind of problem. He awards Hubert a grade C for their solution. Hubert boasts slightly, expressing confusion as he was the first in class to solve the problem. Owen admonishes Hubert, telling him not to be a brat and reminding him that he should know why he received a C. He calls Hubert a monkey cub. The girl asks Owen what his point is, admitting she has no clue. Rain and Krista walk ahead, finishing the test, as Rain tells the girl to get out of the way. The other students are shocked to see Rain and Krista already finished despite their answer sheets being ripped. Professor Owen and Hubert stare at Rain. Rain requests Owen to evaluate their answers. Owen gives a smile. With a laugh, Owen asks Rain if he really finished, admitting he was looking forward to his expulsion. Rain argues that if you can't use magic because of a little wind, you can't be a wizard if you can't cast a spell. Professor Owen snatches the paper from Rain's hand, praising his ambition, while Hubert's team watches with interest. Owen's eyes widen in shock as he analyzes Rain's answer sheet. Rain explains that one is a leaf and another a circle, and the tune of the circle works well with water magic, simplifying the math for the rune. Rain explains that a first-order equation speeds up the rune's casting, earning Owen's praise despite Rain's secondary school status. Rain details modifying the spell's form to bypass the requirement of mastering runes before using magic. Owen realizes Rain is trying to shorten the activation time of the rune, calling it clever but doubting whether it will work, and Rain agrees. With a smile, Owen proposes they find out themselves, prompting a smile from Rain as well. With a smirk, Owen teases Rain, highlighting the increased difficulty of the math and a dual property flying circle for the standing equation. As the paper begins glowing, Many rays of white light issue from it, startling Owen and Krista. Shortly, a massive fog surrounds them, swirling in all directions. Above them, a blinding flash of white light appears, like a star. The white light turns into a golden star, shocking Owen. All of the other students watch the glowing star in awe. Owen, surprised, says he has been teaching for 13 years and seen a lot of geniuses, but Rain and Krista are the first to come up with the solution. The students all look astounded as Owen expresses his surprise and announces Rain's answer will get a grade never received by anyone, an S grade. Krista looks very excited as Rain tells Owen it was generous of him. Unable to contain her excitement, Krista shouts out and thanks Owen, continuing to cheer. She turns to Rain, who looks happy as well, and even Owen is smiling. Owen tells Krista to return to her seat, threatening to deduct her points, and Krista apologizes, still smiling. Then Owen turns to Hubert and his benchmate, telling them to return as well. Hubert stares at Krista as they walk back to their seats. He walks in front of Rain, and their eyes meet. Rain stares at Hubert, who asks Rain if he has anything to say. Seeing them still not return to their seats, Owen tells them to move on if they don't want to be punished. Rain and Hubert continue staring as Rain warns Hubert he won't let him off the hook next time. All the students that passed the test had to endure the harsh words of Owen the gorilla. Rain also endured the first grade after joining the school. Rain turns to Krista, sitting beside him, and tries to ask her something. But despite calling for her, Krista doesn't pay any attention to Rain. Rain wonders why Krista is pretending to not hear him. Owen questions the students on the reactions on their faces and asks them if they find the lessons difficult. He promises a spicier flavor next time, warning those who can't keep up will be left behind, as the students' despairing faces reflect their harsh realization. After the class ends, Krista calls for Rain. Rain asks what she wants, and Krista stammers and in a low voice thanks him. Rain asks Krista why her voice is low and tells her to repeat again, and Krista shouts at Rain telling him to not be so hard to please. She bellows that the debt will be repaid next time and tells Rain to not get all high and mighty, reminding they are rivals. And she tells Rain it's the first time she ever received help from anyone. As Krista continues shouting at Rain, the other students in class discuss Gorilla Owen awarding Krista the S grade. And they also discuss Rain being in the same team as Krista, and all sound impressed. The next day, standing before two massive towers, Rain asks Krista which floor his accommodation is on, and Krista informs him while also telling him not to brag. Rain tells Krista what she said was arrogant and asks if making unfulfillable promises is common. Looking pissed off, Krista turns away and storms off telling Rain to wait and see. Rain walks into the building, and in the corridors other students recognize him as the top-ranked guy and start whispering. The students think that if Rain had really top abilities he should have been on time and wouldn't have to take an extra test. Rain walks towards a heavy wooden door. He takes out a locket and raises it in front of the door. The door automatically opens, and looking inside, Rain notices it's a single room. The room had a bookshelf, a table, and a chair. Rain walks in and says it reminds him of the magic tower, as in his past life he had stayed in a room like such and only focused on studying magic. A flashback of his past life appears before his eyes, but he shakes off the memory, shaking his head. He drops down on his back on his bed. Looking up, he thinks except for the first place, he has nothing more to do and wonders if he should sneak into the Vatican and search for his remains. But with his current abilities and physique, he thinks it's not a good option to sneak around. He raises his hand and triangle-shaped symbols form above his palm, and he tries to move them around, but they disappear. He wonders if his magic is less than 4 stars. His attention is grabbed by an owl which flies down near the window. He turns towards the owl and sees it's carrying a parcel in his leg. So he walks out of the bed and takes the parcel from the owl. He sees it's a wooden box as the owl flies away. The wooden box has something written on its outside, and Rain realizes there's no sender's name. He thinks whether it was sent by his father, and opening the box, sees there are 2 books inside. He picks up the books and notices they are very old and fragile. He recognizes the books as his diaries he entrusted to Lista in his final moments. Staring at them, he is thunderstruck. He looks out of the window, wondering who sent them to him. His face turns to shock as he thinks of the possibility of someone else knowing his real identity. In the school's magical training facility, at the War Dragon Field, fierce training is underway. The voice declares 30 seconds left for the end of training. Krista is focused on her training as the other students watch with interest, the countdown reaching 20 seconds. With 15 seconds left, someone asks Krista if something good happened to her today, and Krista questions back what they mean. Krista's friend watching the clock says 10 seconds and notes that Krista seems more excited than usual. With 5 seconds left, the girl asks Krista if it's because she met Rain and wonders what happened between the two of them. Firing a spell, Krista declares there is nothing between her and Rain, irritated by her friend's expression. Krista says she is just practicing to relieve stress, but her friend realizes she is pretending to be okay. Her friend believes the rumors that Krista got help from Rain on her exams are true. She finds it interesting as she had met Rain as a child at a local church meeting. Hubert walks towards the student dormitory's central common room. As he walks in, a guy welcomes him, calling him a C-grade loser. Other students in the dormitory all stare at Hubert. Hubert tells the guy named Logan not to push it or he will get caught out. The muscular dude named Logan tells Hubert to calm down, saying he almost peed himself when he heard somebody got a C. He says he heard Krista received an S rank even with a sandbag on. He asks Hubert what the genius noble was like and if he is as good as rumors say and if he is better than him. Hubert tells Logan to stop talking, calling him a brainless, all-muscle bastard. Giving a dark look, he asks Logan if he wants to try it out, and Logan smirkingly says if he wants. Logan and Hubert both stare at each other. A girl sitting nearby, engrossed in a book, tells them to stop and reminds them they aren't the only ones there. Logan smiles and tells the girl, whose name is Lily, he was just joking around. He says he plans to take down the genius noble, Krista, and asks Lily if she wants in. Lily tells Logan he is always doing useless things and asks him what he gets from bullying the weak. Logan again remarks he is just joking, while Hubert declares he will take care of them. Turning around, Hubert tells Logan if he messes carelessly he will end up in trouble, and he walks into his room, cursing the bastard Logan. Hubert punches the wall in fury and wonders what Rain Ludwig might have done, his face showing anger. Meanwhile, Rain is going through the diary and notices the first part is about Rain's life and the second part about the magic and combat style he used. He shuts the diary and is unable to understand who and how someone must have discovered his identity. Furthermore, he is confused why those people haven't contacted him if they know. Rain looks at the clock and sees it's 23 o'clock and decides he should switch off the light before the inspector comes. He pushes the switch off, and the darkness makes him notice a glow from the diary. He picks up the diary, and from its pages, a blue butterfly-like thing flies out. Rain is bewildered at seeing the thing, which is a Rudian that he made in his previous life. He notices it's twice as big and darker in color, and even if it managed to stay intact for 300 years, he wonders with whose magic and for what. He extends his hand, and the Rudian flies down and sits on his finger. The Rudian informs Rain to continue his research in unique magic and its current progress is at 37%. Rain's eyes give a shocked look as another message appears, bearing strange shapes and symbols. He recognizes he researched that in his previous life to reach the level of sage, and the 12 runes he sees are the ones he tried practicing 300 years ago, and he had thought he failed them. But now he realizes he is at 37% progress. He is even further shocked to see a 4-star Rudian being able to check the progress of a 6-star magician. He wonders what if it's all real, and his face cracks into a smile. He thinks the path he is on is not wrong. If he keeps on going, he is hopeful he can reach the truth. In this way a hope suddenly appeared for Rain, and the fact that whoever sent him the book might be real, he didn't care and threw the thought out of his mind. Rain puts on his clothes, picks up the diary, and heads out, ready to start his research. When outside, he realizes it's raining and, unlike the north, quite chilly. In the south, even the rain is warm because of the influence of the Red Mountains. Despite the rain, Rain walks along his path, getting drenched while he whistles. He walks to the War Dragon Fields where one can practice magic to their heart's content, as the lady at the counter offers to show him around. She explains that the War Dragon Field is a place to train magic with great power and a wide casting range. The lady tells Rain to place his student ID ring on the entrance, and Rain raises his finger, causing the ring he is wearing to flash. A sudden roar is heard. A voice welcomes Rain to the Warriors' Hall and informs him they currently have 30 rooms available, while the lady tells Rain to make himself at home. Rain chooses to take room 15, closest to the center, and the voice approves it. Rain requests a sturdy target. A circular bright spot appears in front of Rain where a huge robot-like creature materializes. Rain analyzes the target and notices it's a 2-star spell, deeming it not bad. He then opens his diary and looks at the rune named Yun and decides to try it. He produces a triangle symbol above his hand to create a barrier. He inscribes the Yun rune into the triangle and tries to activate it. But to his disbelief, the symbol vaporizes into smoke, making him speechless. Now looking pissed, Rain questions if it isn't 1-star magic. He clenches his fist, which glows, and he produces 3 triangular symbols etched around a circle. After that, he inscribes the Yun rune on the triangles, turning them bright red. And he moves his hands closer to execute the magic, resulting in a small explosion before him. The explosion creates numerous small shining circular things which don't affect the target. Rain looks disappointed. At that moment, someone watching Rain says Rain's magic is shitty. It's Hubert, who is surprised to see Rain not able to use the one-star magic properly. Fire magic is supposed to be loud, but seeing Rain's magic quiet, Hubert guesses it's just basic, and he turns away, smirking and recalling the rumor that said Rain was a teaching assistant under Scalzi. Meanwhile, the target starts to glow brightly. As its glow intensifies, cracks appear in its body, and it explodes and falls down. While Rain covers his face, he sighs that he barely made it. He notices that the flames of the Yun element entered into the target's body, melting it from the inside, which might be the intended effect. Since it took 30 seconds to melt the 2-star golem, Rain wonders if the rune is incomplete or maybe the math theory is a problem. But he gives a smile thinking he has plenty of time to figure it out. He is determined to figure it out no matter how tough, and seems excited, looking forward to researching. Rain sits down, examining the details of the runes displayed by the Rudian. The Rudian informs him that the Yun rune was modified to Yun by reforming the theory of matrix mechanics. The Rudian not only detects magic pickable from the surroundings but also gives a summary of the day's research, and Rain thinks it's priceless. Rain notices the Rudian's message telling him to continue his research in unique magic, and its progress is 37.1%. Before it was 37%. And seeing it increase by 0.1%, Rain wonders if it's the mathematical theory that improved or the runes became more refined. He decides not to overthink it, claiming there's plenty of time. Suddenly, Rain feels a strong gust of wind flow his way and notices someone using magic. It's Hubert, who has his wind magic activated. He seems to be training with the flying training targets. The targets attack him as Hubert launches punches and hacks the dummy into many pieces. He attacks the other dummies, punching them and slashing them with his wind magic. Rain watches with interest and sees Hubert is really good at skills, which might be why he always runs his mouth. Hubert swings his arms, and huge gusts of wind surround him while Rain, noting Hubert's face, thinks something might be off. The procedure required to activate magic is divided into 3 steps. Pointing to the blackboard, Professor Owen explains the steps: set up the magic circle, inscribe the runes, and calculate the mathematical formulas. He tells the class that most mages struggle with the 3rd step, calculating formulas. Owen gives the students 10 minutes, claiming he has made the formula easy for them, so there shouldn't be any idiots who can't solve it. As Rain looks at the formula, Owen tells the students to start. Rain wonders who leaked the formula he created, as his 3 companions, who struggle with basic arithmetic, couldn't have known about it. While thinking, he remembers a kid who would lurk behind his team, the annoying little brat who kept following him and calling himself his disciple. The guy was named Turen, and Rain ponders if that guy might have sent him the notebook. But he deems it impossible, as Turen was alive 300 years ago. Lost in his thoughts, Rain feels a hand poking at his shoulder for his attention. He turns to Krista and asks her what problem she is facing. The professor gives a death stare at them, so Krista apologizes for getting carried away. Rain asks Krista what she wants, causing Krista to stammer in panic. She hands Rain a red box, and taking it, Rain asks what it is. Krista, looking embarrassed, says they are cookies. She says she made them in her free time after her magic training, looking away while Rain looks bewildered. Rain questions why, and Krista says she owes him. Upon opening the lid, he finds not cookies but burnt charcoal-like things inside. While Krista seems pleased with herself, Rain is unable to believe the condition of the cookies. So he asks Krista if they are really cookies, and while Krista affirms, Rain questions if she used mud instead of flour, to which she insists they are real. Krista begins lecturing and shouting at Rain, who remains silent. A smiling student remarks that finding the answer is easy, praising Rain's genius, while the professor casts a spell on Krista's answer sheet. Krista's face turns into despair at the condition of her paper, while Rain looks displeased hearing the conversation of students about Rain. Rain clasps his hand on his face, hoping the students will stop. Krista notices the look on Rain's face and asks why his face is red. Rain becomes speechless, while Krista asks him if he is embarrassed over the cookies. Smirking, Krista tells Rain he acts like a know-it-all but has a naive side, unaware the professor is nearby. Krista's horror deepens as she spots Owen, who reprimands her for inattention and offers her a special class. After a while, the professor tells the students to hand in their answer sheets and calls at the end of the class. Walking towards the 4th period, which is the club activity tour, Krista asks Rain which club he will join. Krista explains that Mage House descendants must play magic volleyball to maintain dignity and declares her intention to join the club. Rain interrupts Krista's explanation of magic volleyball's significance by pointing at something, angering her. He tells Krista he will go and look around here and there, while Krista tells him to wait a minute. Deltane has a variety of clubs designed to promote interactions and competitions among students. The clubs include the Combat Magic Club, Fire Attribute Magic Club, Festival Magic Club, etc. Rain, aware of the possibility of activity support funds with professor approval, explores the intriguing spots around. Krista runs behind Rain and tells him to listen to her. She reminds Rain that the descendants of mage houses have to join the Magic Volleyball Club, but Rain says he doesn't care. Krista asks him why, and Rain says he will join whichever club he pleases and his father won't interfere. Krista and her friend look bewildered at Rain's statement. Krista insists the Magic Volleyball Club is prestigious for mage houses, but Rain brushes it off, claiming it's optional. Looking at a list, Rain claims the Sculpture Magic Club is more interesting, as well as the local Development Magic Club. Rain goes into a flashback when Lista had commented on people's sufferings and had hoped that when peace arrives, everyone will be free, and had been sure when Rin grew up, the world would be filled with peace. Lista had hoped Rin would protect such innocent lives. Krista's friend calls out Rain's name repeatedly, making him come back to reality from the flashback. She asks Rain where he is going, and Rain says he will go and check out the local Development Magic Club. Krista's friend is speechless as she reveals that magic volleyball is a must for high-ranking mages. She says that the Ludwig family had been competing with the Page family for 100 years. And now that tradition might end due to Rain. She recalls that the eldest daughter of the Page family disappeared after an incident, and if the Ludwig family falls as well, it means. She gives a smile at the possibility. She thinks it will be the beginning of the era of Warden led by Krista. Looking excited, she calls out to Krista but notices she isn't there. With a disappointed look, she questions if Krista is following Rain. Rain tells Krista he is curious about the local magic club while Krista, following him, insists she isn't following him. Rain reaches the local magic development club and wonders if it's the right place. He reaches for the door and suddenly hears someone shout from inside the room. Rain and Krista peek through the door and see a guy declaring that the strongest ones take charge, claiming it as the rule of the club. Logan says they will make good use of the resources, asking someone to hand them over. Rain asks Krista who the person is, and Krista says it's Logan, the representative of the Chihak School. Krista explains to Rain that Chihak School specializes in producing mages focused on martial arts, and Rain says he knows that. Logan says the winner of the magical showdown gets everything, calling it a waste to give opportunities to someone who lacks guts, and questioning the need for a club no one will recognize. Still peeking, Krista notes this is a common occurrence, mentioning the necessity of resources for club activities. Logan says that if they want to create a club but lack resources, they can take resources from other clubs through a magical showdown. Krista affirms Logan's correctness and the convenience of the magical showdown, which Rain acknowledges. Krista asks Rain if he won't join, but Rain declines, citing his aversion to annoyance. While inside, the guy in glasses challenges Logan, suggesting his 8th school's limited understanding of magic. Logan asks for more, and the guy in glasses explains that while academic societies have developed magic, it's not yet utilized in agriculture or relief efforts. He says that if they find a way to help with magic, they can solve issues like poverty. Bravely, he points to Logan and makes it clear the club was established by seniors to help struggling people, saying he will not let Logan take it over. Logan gives a loud laugh and asks the guy if he speaks with sincerity, stating if that was possible, the archmages and sages would have done it already. Suddenly, Logan grabs the guy in glasses by his collar, mocking him for speaking too much without being able to defend himself. With a smirk, Logan questions if the seniors have ever shown results, doubting the guy's belief in changing the world with research from useless people. While Rain and Krista watch, Logan belittles the guy's speech, claiming he lacks the courage to try magic and suggesting he give up. The glasses guy says he can't do that, still held up by Logan. Logan tells the guy he can't even open his eyes properly, asking if he just woke up or is half asleep. He says he will help him open his eyes as he swings his hand back, still holding the guy. Rain intervenes, using magic to stop Logan. Logan drops the guy on the floor as Rain challenges Logan to a magical showdown. Logan looks taken aback, seeing Rain. Rain introduces himself as a newly recruited member. The sun is shining brightly outside. Rain claims he can continue the progress of unique magic research in the surrounding environment, and the progress has increased to 37.9%. Some might think magic can do anything, but there are more things that it can't do. In Rain's flashback, Lista says that if they create an oasis in the desert, they can help travelers. She turns to Rin and asks him a favor to cast a few spells for her, which anyone can learn and use. Magic that can help people in dire situations, that can make people's lives easier. Lista had wanted that kind of magic. She had asked Rin to make the magic with his own hands. Questioning about the newly recruited member, Logan, smirking, turns towards Rain and then notices Krista standing by the door as well. Logan mocks Rain as a low-class mage, apologizing for his careless words and sarcastically claiming he was greeting Rain as a disciple of the 8th school. He mentions to Rain if he just spoke about the magical showdown and asks if he heard it wrong. Rain firmly tells Logan he heard it correctly and tells him since he seems eager, Rain offers to be his opponent. Logan laughs and asks Rain if he is really confident he can defeat him. Rain also laughs back and asks Logan if he is feeling nervous, saying he offers to not use any combat magic, shocking Krista. Rain asks Logan if that's not enough and says he will only use the magic developed by the club, just 3 spells. Looking bewildered, Logan asks Rain if he is serious, and Rain says he might lose if he does that. Hearing this, Logan bellows with laughter while Krista screws her face in worry. Still laughing, Logan asks Rain if he is aware that it takes 3 days for membership approval. He explains that the magical showdown will only be arranged on a personal basis, prompting Rain to ask him to get to the point. Logan says he will leave the club if Rain wins and also drive the other troublemakers away. Logan adds that if he wins, Rain will have to submit a withdrawal letter. Logan tells Rain to use the reason that he encountered Logan, felt him an insurmountable wall, and withdrew if he loses. At that moment, Krista walks in and questions Logan if he will just give up a mere club, causing Logan to tell her not to butt in as an outsider. Rain also tells Krista to stay out of their matter while she says she doesn't understand anything happening. Rain confidently declares that he is going to win anyway and tells Logan to decide the date and time. Logan laughs and asks Rain if he really accepts the conditions. He says that he will arrange for a professor to be present as a judge. Claiming there's no reason to postpone, Logan tells Rain they will battle tonight at 6 o'clock at the Dragon's Lair. With an evil smile, he tells Rain he will see him later. Smirking, Logan walks away claiming he made a huge catch and that the professors and elders will love it. Rain and Krista stay silent. Looking excited, Logan says it will be an amazing day. Looking grim, Krista questions Rain if he knows his place, entering the magic duel like that. Rain jokingly says he is a freshman at DeLayton University, causing Krista to tell him to stop fooling around. While Rain checks out the books, Krista gives him a cold stare. Finally, Krista turns to the door and tells Rain to do whatever he wants, claiming she was stupid to worry. Rain asks Krista why she is angry. The guy, picking up his glasses, tells Rain he did something nonsensical, reminding him that Mage House descendants never participate in magic duels. As the guy puts back on his glasses, Rain notices his ring, a dragon with wings spread. Rain asks him why it's like that, and the guy says that there is more to lose than gain. And he says he is curious and asks Rain why he helped him. Rain says he didn't help the guy for that reason but because he had homework. The guy says he is grateful and tells Rain he is underestimating Logan, causing Rain to ask him if Logan is that great. The guy explains that Logan, a gang-type mage, is adept at countering general mages specializing in long-range magic, and he's also physically robust, with experience in several duels. Also, Logan has a winning percentage of over 90%. The guy tells Rain he did a reckless thing and says though he brags about Logan's club, it's not that great. Wiping his glasses, the guy says he grew up in a countryside where the villagers pooled their money to pay for his college tuition. So the guy wanted to give something as payback to his hometown and wanted to make their lives better. He joined the club to study magic but faced setbacks, leading to growing anxiety and impatience, ultimately achieving nothing despite perseverance. He asks if that isn't pathetic while Rain listens silently. The guy says that God might have given him the sign to quit, and apologizing to Rain, he says he will drop out of the magic duel. Rain questions the guy what's pathetic. He reminds the guy he entered the magic duel and asks to borrow a few magic-related books from the club as he needs to learn the magic to use in the duel. Walking out the door, Rain promises to return the books when done as the guy protests. Rain asks the guy if he knows why the Grand Mage started magic, confusing him. Rain says the reason is to survive and that everyone starts somewhere. The sun is bright in the sky, reflecting from the windows of the university. As Rain walks through the corridors, students stare at him, and he realizes the news about his duel must have spread already. Suddenly, someone calls out his name. He turns to see his Aunt Ellen, who is huffing and puffing, sweating, and says she finally found him, asking how he is. Rain is astonished to see her. As he asks her how she is doing, she gives him a hard punch. She says she had been sleep-deprived, but thanks to Rain, she is now awake. She chokes Rain with her arm and questions about his duel with Logan, causing the whole school into an uproar. Rain admits it's true. Ellen says Rain has done great and suggests they should have fun drinking and partying, while Rain yells in pain trying to free his head. She lets go of Rain's head and turning away says if he gets hit by Logan, it will hurt a lot and tells him to stop whining. She becomes silent, and Rain turning at her asks her if she came there because she was worried about him. Ellen bellows at Rain that she isn't worried about him and tells him he needs to be hit by Logan to come to his senses. Saying so, she storms off, looking pissed. Rain mutters an apology to his aunt, confident he won't bring shame to their family. Ellen tells Rain, even though he didn't mean to, he has already put their family's honor at stake and says in the worst case, he can be expelled. Rain says he was getting annoyed by people for calling him a useless prince. Ellen turns back and smiling tells Rain they should now go all the way now. She reminds Rain he has the Ludwig family's name on his shoulders and tells him to not let anyone crawl up to his level and show them what he is made of. The whole school is gathered and in the middle of the pit, Rain and Logan stand facing each other. Logan has a smirk on his face. Rain is looking serious as he reflects on his aunt's words, claiming he has been planning that from the start. Inside the school, there is a major outburst among the students, some confused about what is going on. They start rushing outside while others question where they are going. The students arrive at the dragon's lair where the useless prince and the muscle-brained idiot are about to fight. Professor Owen, his hands crossed, stands in silence. Professor Caroline walks in, asking Owen who he will support, the fellow student from the same school. Owen declares that status, bloodline, and academic background don't matter to him and says he will cheer for whoever is stronger. Caroline laughs, calling Owen naive. Theon will be the judge for the magic duel. As the magic duel is officially approved by the school will manage the winner's conditions to be fulfilled by the loser on a school level. The judge tells Rain and Logan to come forward. Logan pulls off his cloak and throws it away as Rain remains silent. Rain comments on Logan for coming well prepared and jokingly says he won't be able to beat such huge muscles of Logan's. Someone, wearing a cloak over their face, is in the stands. Krista's friend tells the person under the cloak, which is Krista herself, that she came after all. Krista, in a panicky voice, claims she didn't come because she was worried but to watch Rain get knocked around. Professor Caroline thinks that Jing mages are good at close combat, making them a threat, and wonders how Rain Ludwig will deal with Logan. Rain withdraws something like a large stick, which shocks Caroline as well as the spectators. The stick-like thing Rain is holding is a huge broom. Logan is also puzzled at seeing Rain holding a broom. The spectators all give a deafening laugh, jeering at Rain seeing it's a broom. They make fun of Rain, asking if he came to clean or fight. Even Krista has her hands on her face in embarrassment. The judge asks Rain what he is holding, and Rain says he borrowed it from the library. The judge asks him if he will use that, and Rain asks if it's not allowed, but the judge says it's not what he meant. Logan mocks Rain for being arrogant earlier but now going to sweep it all away with a broom. He tells Rain not to make fun of himself this way and suggests he just give up. Rain, looking irritated, calls out Logan for his behavior and says it's heartbreaking from the perspective of a senior. Logan asks Rain what he means by senior. Rain asks what's up with young people these days who always talk back, causing Logan to be confused. Rain asks when mages became a tribe who fight with words. Both looking angry, Logan and Rain draw close, causing the judge to tell them to back off. The judge clears his throat and says he will make a final confrontation before the duel. He explains that if Logan loses, he will act as a guard for the local development magic club until graduation, and if Rain loses, he will drop out of Delayton. He also says there can be no appeal against the judgment and asks if they accept. Rain and Logan both declare they accept. The judge then asks them to step back. He says the duel will begin in 10 seconds. A massive circular clock appears, which begins the countdown from 10. Inside the school, more students are still running outside for the duel. An assistant tells Rain's aunt she can go out and offers to handle her work, but Ellen says she won't go. The assistant calls out Ellen for being calm when her nephew is about to duel, causing Ellen to ask in anger if the assistant means she isn't usually calm. Ellen stares out of the window and gives a smirk. She claims there's no need to watch the duel as the match has already been decided. Rain and Logan are both ready as the countdown reaches 1. The referee signals Rain's and Logan's duel to begin. Without delay, Logan launches into attack, telling Rain to watch carefully, saying if he drops out, he won't get another chance. Logan uses the Chi-Hack secret technique and activates physical enhancement. Krista's friend, spectating this, thinks Logan is trying to end it in one blow. Logan's body seems to have transformed, his eyes glowing and muscles tightened up. Rain acknowledges Logan's activation speed and comments that the magic can break bones or rupture internal organs if it goes wrong. Professor Caroline watches with interest, deeming Logan the top student of Chihak School as expected. Rain grabs onto the broom's handle, his eyes closed. Logan smirks, saying he will finish Rain off in 10 seconds. Rain sighs and takes a long breath as Logan pushes himself off his feet, flying towards Rain. Krista and her friend watch in shock while Rain stands firmly. Logan's punch is very close to Rain, while Rain is standing with his eyes closed. Logan thinks Rain is unable to move, and even if he moved, the result would be the same as his punch nears. He reveals physical enhancement provides both offense and defense, creating a wall of magic on the surface of the body, which explodes at the point of impact to damage the opponent. Logan's punch glows red with power as he deems Rain can't stop it, aiming to end it with one shot. He hopes to crush the annoying face of Rain's. Reacting, Rain swings the stick he holds like a helicopter's blades, which stops Logan's punch. Logan's eyes turn to shock, and Rain swiftly swings the stick, rotating on the spot. Flashing his eyes, he smacks the stick onto Logan's stomach with full force. The power of the force sends Logan flying backward. The guy with glasses, Krista, her friend, and Hubert all seem shocked. Even the professors look taken aback. Logan is still flying backward. Professor Owen recognizes the technique used by Rain as the sealing technique devised by Grand Mage Rin, who raised the Osirius school 300 years ago. It's the fencing technique of Grand Mage Rin, which is believed to have been established with the help of Lista, who believed that even magicians needed strength for close combat. Professor Owen questions how Rain learned that technique. Logan slams down a few feet away. Professor Caroline is speechless as she notices Rain's broom handle didn't even break. She believes the broom handle should have shattered after contacting a body wrapped in physical enhancement and wonders if Rain increased the strength of the handle with magic. Seeing the potential of Rain's abilities, she questions who he is. Rain puts the broom on his shoulder and gives a sigh. The crowd goes mad with cheering and shouting. They are pointing at Logan getting bounced off. Rain looks on in silence. Meanwhile, Logan is shocked to see what just happened. He is unable to believe a mere broom broke off his physical enhancement as he stares at Rain, cursing. Rain points out that 10 seconds have passed, asking Logan why he hasn't ended it. He tells Logan it's not good to bully a promising junior and says he will finish him off in 6 seconds, rotating the broom again. Saying so, he tells Logan to charge at him. Logan, still on his knees, stares ahead at Rain, who watches him back. He wipes around his mouth, revealing he is struggling to get a grip on the situation, and snarls his teeth. Suddenly he jumps up, his legs stretched, and smashes it into the ground, releasing magical power. The ground crumbles as Rain jumps backward, looking taken aback. The force of Logan's kick causes the ground all around to break apart into chunks. Krista's friend's mouth opens in shock as Logan's face darkens with anger. Hubert watches with interest. Logan jumps off the ground and aims a kick at a huge boulder hovering in front. Rain braces himself with the broom. With enormous force, Logan kicks the boulder towards Rain. Rain uses the broom's handle to block and stop the boulder. He looks ahead and only sees dust everywhere, Logan nowhere in sight. He becomes cautious and moves his eyes all around. He taps the edge of the broom's handle on the ground, using a spell. Suddenly, a boulder flies out from the dust, straight at Rain. He reacts quickly and sends the boulder away by striking it with the broom. At that moment, Logan, his leg raised, appears above Rain, ready to strike. Logan smashes his leg onto Rain, causing a small explosion of dust and stones. The guy with glasses is horrified. The dust billows from the ground. Logan's face shows worry as the ground beneath him has turned to muddy water, covering up to his knees. Rain explains to Logan that the magic is applied to the field and says it's a 1-star spell as Logan looks upwards. Rain, standing on a massive raised platform formed from the boulders, looks down at Logan, explaining it's a 2-star spell that creates a temporary water break during floods. With a smirk on his face, Rain asks Logan how it is, citing that it's useful. Some of the spectators look taken aback and bewildered while others cheer in surprise. Professor Owen acknowledges Rain for creating the raised platform to maintain visibility and distance from Logan to overcome his close combat techniques. He also commends Rain for swiftly turning the ground into a pool to counter Logan's attack and for deftly employing 2 two spells nearly simultaneously. Professor Caroline also seems impressed and believes the duel will be over now. However, Rain throws his broom down, shocking the watching professors. The broom falls down at Logan as the spectators watch in puzzlement. Even Logan, staring up, seems puzzled. Krista shouts at Rain, asking what he is doing and telling him to use long-distance spells to finish the duel. Meanwhile, Logan bends his knees a little and pulls back his hand, preparing a punch. As the broom closes on the ground, Rain feels the platform shaking a bit. Suddenly, Logan pushes himself off the muddy ground and at blinding speed aims at Rain. Krista watches in concern as Rain looks down, the guy with glasses looking alarmed. Logan closes in on Rain, his right hand outstretched and a punch ready. As the punch is inches from Rain's face, vines of trees twirl themselves onto Logan's arm. Within a second, huge vines have slithered themselves around Logan's body, stopping him. The vines have emerged from the muddy water below, huge and thick. The spectators are all bewildered as Rain explains its magic that breathes life into dead plants. Logan is unable to move, his body bound by the vines, and Rain says that the spell's duration is only 10 seconds as sharp, pointy parts emerge from one of the vine. Logan realizes the broomstick must have turned into the plant, and his face shows clear struggle. Rain breaks off a small branch from the plant and says he only used 3 spells as promised. Looking down at Logan's angry face, he declares he will end it. Rain, holding the small broken branch, asks Logan if he should end it. Snarling his teeth, Logan curses hopelessly. Rain stares at Logan, who continues cursing, disapproving it ending like this. Logan doesn't want to lose so easily. The vines increase their pressure around Logan's body, who twitches in pain. Rain wonders if he used too much magic power and considers improvements to the spell since the vines are also sticky. He asks Logan if he feels pain, telling him not to worry. Giving a smirk, he tells Logan he will feel comfortable soon. He extends the branch closer to Logan's eye and continues grinning. Logan closes his eye in frustration. Rain gives a smack on Logan's face, causing Logan to give a pained look. After that, he turns and walks away, throwing the branch away. Logan shouts at Rain in anger, telling him to end it. However, still walking away, Rain declares it's already over. He tells Logan to shut his mouth after losing and suggests Logan live a better life. He makes the vines raise higher, still holding Logan immobile. Logan's face is blank from shock as he realizes for the first time the world of magic is a place where only the fittest can survive. The vines all crumble into pieces, freeing Logan's body. Rain raises his head, acknowledging that Logan managed to hang on quite a while, and claims it's a fairly practical magic. He also remembers that magic duels end only when one side surrenders or completely submits. Logan, now falling down, looks in confusion. Suddenly, something smacks his face, making him spit blood. Rain, who just snapped his fingers, declares that as the match ended earlier, he won't count the magic he just used as an attack. The audience is all speechless. His face bloody, Logan drops down and slams on his back on the ground, while Rain, turning, gives Logan a stare. The referee, starstruck at first, cracks a smile as he summons the mic, and he bellows out to the audience, announcing Rain Ludwig as the winner. The whole crowd shouts and cheers, with Krista looking pleased. Hubert turns away in disappointment, while the professors look impressed as well. Rain sees someone and turns around, noticing the guy in glasses at the gate. The guy runs towards Rain, calling out for him. He thanks Rain, saying he can never repay the kindness. Rain questions the guy about what kindness, causing him to be taken aback. Rain speaks to himself and says the 3 spells he wrote and says the other spells too. The completion level is low, but he sensed it. The guy stares in starstruck awe as Rain continues mumbling to himself. Rain, seeing the reactions on the guy's face, apologizes for talking nonsense. He then asks the guy for a favor and requests him to use the magic and develop their hometown in the future. With a smile, he confidently says the guy will do a good job. At these words, the guy cracks a smile, tears leaking from his eyes, and he bows to Rain, who walks away. Rain wonders what Lista would say in this situation but thinks it's better not to dwell on it as he is not Lista, but he hopes he saves some face. Later that night, some students in their dormitories are discussing Rain knocking down Logan. A student asks how that makes sense, while another claims he saw it with his own eyes and deems Rain's skills no joke as he even blew Logan away. Logan, resting on a bed with a bandage on his head, hears the students talking from the other room. He gets up in a sitting position, puts his hand on his head in pain, and groans a little. Professor Owen, standing near the wall behind, asks Logan how he feels after tarnishing his school's name. He stares at Logan while Logan nervously calls the professor Grandmaster. Professor Owen asks Logan his thoughts on tarnishing the reputation of his school, and Logan tries to reason. With a furious face, Owen shouts and snarls at Logan to address him as professor and asks if he forgot, startling Logan. Logan quickly bows and apologizes. Owen sighs and tells Logan to take a break, while Logan says Rain nearly beat him to death. Turning away, Owen tells Rain to stop pretending to be a genius, asking if he believes he can do anything just because he is famous. Logan says no. Owen asks him if he knows about Scalzi Ludwig. He explains the rumor the Leverton school students are talking about, which is that the old man exploited Rain for 3 years as an assistant, and the fact that Scalzi is a cold man who doesn't care, kept Rain under his wing for 3 years, means Rain's skills are real. Owen tells Logan that Rain will someday become a key figure of the magical world and tells him to be on his good side, but Logan replies he doesn't like that. Looking angry, Logan calls Rain a low-level scoundrel and claims next time they encounter, he will show him his place. Owen scolds Logan, telling him his brain and eyes aren't working right, and insists that denying defeat won't change anything. Logan asks what he means by that, and Owen explains that Logan is unable to realize that Rain also spared him in the fight. Owen reminds Logan he experienced himself Rain's strength and tells him if he can't come to a conclusion, do as he wishes. Before leaving, Owen tells Logan to keep his promise since he lost the battle. Logan stares down in despair. He acknowledges Rain's strength but says he wasn't afraid of him and was just concerned with saving his face. That's it. 15 minutes ago, before the magical confrontation began, in the Delayton Central Library. The Central Library is the Empire's newest addition, boasting a vast collection of historical, personal, and diverse books alongside countless others. Rain walks to the librarian and, showing her a list, asks where he can find the books. The librarian recognizes the book and points it out to Rain. Rain looks down at 2 big and thick books. He picks them up. He has a flashback when Pride had challenged him for a bet on who will have a larger autobiography. Rin had told Pride what the point of self-driving cars was when they are all after money, and Pride had asked Rin if he is not confident in himself. Pride, laughing, had asked Rin if he is afraid because his opponent in the bet is the Dragon Priestess, and Rin, irritated, had agreed to the bet. Lista, who was training, had said she would bet on Rin. She would always encourage Rin. Rin had asked Lista why she bet on him and asked for a reason. Lista had laughed and said just because of this and that, and Rin had asked her if she is trying to back off now. Rin had asked Lista to speak out, and she had said because of her traditional lifestyle, she will live longer and that since Keese is the oldest in their group, her life would be shorter than his, and Pride won't be much different from them. And she had told Rin that since he is the youngest, he will live the longest from them, so he's likely to have the largest autobiography. She had expressed that naturally no one knows what the future holds and had hoped to be able to see Rin's greatness for herself one day. Now in the present, looking at the book, Rain points out he was the first one to die. The book, which is the autobiography of Pride, is the largest, and Rain congratulates her for winning. Rain picks up another book and notices Keese's life story is a bit larger. In the first page of the book is written the life story and achievements of Keese Castle. Keese was praised as the Saints of Archers. He founded a school focused on drinking alcohol and archery and trained many students. As Rain reads further, he is surprised to learn that Keese also married and left descendants. Nevertheless, Rain is happy to know Keese lived a happy life. As he closes the book, he picks up the next book, Pride, the Priestess of Fire Dragon, and sitting down, he opens through its pages. He notices there are no remaining records of Pride. After 1168, Pride had led the Republic for a long time as a sorceress, but she had disappeared and appeared only after 1200, so the Association of Republic Sorceresses had declared her death. Rain wonders if Pride, the girl who loved loud things, died quietly alone. But he thinks that's possible as people change. And he closes the book shut and thinks for a while, deeming it not possible as he knew Pride better than anyone. He is sure it's impossible for her to die alone. So he goes into deep thinking, wondering what might have happened to her. Suddenly, a thought strikes his mind as he thinks of the possibility of Pride's disappearance because of others' doings. Rain contemplates the possibility of Pride's disappearance being due to someone else's actions. Pride, The mage who saved the world vanished without a trace, leaving behind a mystery. Rain accidentally tears a page of the book he's reading. He realizes the book won't suffice and considers searching through the Republic's records. Karen, the librarian, approaches with a book about Lista's history, suggesting Rain might find it useful. Rain accepts the book graciously, though he feels he doesn't need it if it's about Lista. His eyes widen in surprise as he looks at the cover. Tarina's face flashes in Rain's mind, thanking him. Karen interrupts his reverie, asking if he needs anything else. Rain assures her he doesn't, thanking her for the recommendation. The book is titled Tarina, the Virgin of Ash. Rain flips through the pages, discovering that Tarina became a priestess. He learns that the shaman, who leads the spirits, holds the highest rank among sorcerers, and not everyone can become that. Rain wonders if Tarina became a priestess as Pride's successor. Noticing Tarina's long lifespan from 1094 to 1413, Rain ponders if her longevity holds any meaning. Doubting the credibility of the information on Pride, Rain decides to seek out a book from the Republic. Realizing it's time for the magic duel, Rain wonders if he only needs to silence a certain person. He recalls his promise to the guy in glasses but admits he doesn't care much about it. Despite his indifference, Rain resolves to fulfill his promise and leaves the book with Karen. Grabbing his broom, Rain instructs Karen to ensure nobody borrows the book, promising to return in 15 minutes. Rain reassures Karen before heading out, determined to handle the impending confrontation. After concluding the duel with Logan, Rain hurries back to the library. Upon his return, he finds Karen frantically searching for something. Karen notices Rain and questions if he took the book with him earlier, but Rain denies it. Rain is taken aback when Karen reveals the book is missing. Karen explains that it's unlikely someone took it without checking out, as a magical alarm would have sounded. Rain trusts Karen's honesty and believes her. Karen apologizes for the book's disappearance, feeling responsible. Rain reassures her, suggesting they simply purchase another copy. Insisting on paying for the replacement, Rain asks Karen to order a new one and provide him with the receipt. Despite Karen's protests, Rain insists on covering the cost. Karen eventually agrees, as Rain touched by her sincerity. He expresses his surprise at finding such a person, prompting Karen to thank him. Later that night, Rain lies on his bed, lost in contemplation. Reflecting on the gratitude he's received, he initially assumes it's a waste of time, yet he's taken aback to find he doesn't feel disheartened by it. Wondering if his changed body or extended lifespan is to credit, Rain lets go of the thought. He acknowledges the strangeness of recent events. He left the book to Lista, but his memories flooded back and he attempted to explore Tarina's past. Her biography vanished, prompting Rain to wonder if Tarina could be involved. However, he deems it impossible, as Tarina is already dead. She had died hundreds of years ago along with Keese, Lista, and Prida. All those people he knew when he was Rin are all dead. He reminds himself again, they are all dead. Rain thinks hard, trying to figure out who could be causing all this, his head pounding with the effort. He puts the book away and summons the Rudian. The Rudian shows his progress in unique magic is at 37.9%, and he wonders why it increased. He questions if using magic against humans increases his progress. A sudden thought strikes him. Could immediate violence accelerate his progress, forcibly unlocking truths? But how could that be feasible? He thinks he should not get carried away with the thoughts and think carefully. He knows that power rules the world and it's logical, but he doesn't think it can be done just by using force. He becomes silent for a moment and reveals he would have only used force otherwise. He remembers there was an increase of 0.1% when he used magic against non-living targets, but during the fight with Logan, it increased by 0.8%. He gets up from the bed and stretching, thinks he has no other evidence and decides to try this way. But he knows using magic against living creatures within the school will be a problem, so he decides he should try becoming an adventurer. He also needs money to buy the book, so he believes being an adventurer won't be bad. The next day in class, Rain is greeted by several girls, all of whom show sudden interest in him, vying for his attention. An annoyed Rain firmly declares he has no intentions to remember their names or befriend any of them, urging them to move aside. Despite Rain's dismissal, the girls continue to smile and flirt with him. Two other guys in the class snigger at Rain's situation, amused by his apparent deception of the girls. They mock Rain for flirting with the girls, commenting on his charisma, while Rain gives an irritated look. Just then, Krista arrives and addresses the girls, instructing them to clear her way. The girls comply with Krista's request, while one whispers to Rain if his real nickname is the Casanova as they walk away. Rain stares at the departing girl who has a dreamy expression on her face. Sighing, he calls for Krista, who sternly tells him not to talk to her. Astonished by Krista's behavior, Rain asks why she is angry, to which Krista coldly reminds him not to talk to her. Krista states she doesn't care anymore, referencing their previous conversation. Wondering if Krista's anger stems from the duel, Rain agrees they aren't friends or anything more. Krista snaps the book shut, stating she isn't angry, rather finding the duel quite satisfying. Turning to Rain, she advises him to show his real strength and walk with confidence, noting his victories over her and Logan. Slamming the book on the table, she asserts that now she'll be able to trample Rain without being labeled a bully, pointing threateningly at him as she vows to grind him into powder next time. Other students notice Krista's confrontation with Rain and expect a clash between them. They regard Rain and Krista's duel as an incredible matchup. Rain reminds Krista that Owen's class is about to begin, cautioning her about potential point deductions for standing, which Krista acknowledges. Taking her seat, she thanks Rain for the warning. Krista's friend remarks that Krista should have rehearsed her war declaration speech properly. At the weekend in Central Library, the junior librarian, Karen, reports a problem that has been puzzling Rain. Rain inquires about the matter, and Karen explains that all books related to Tarina, including those from publishers in the Empire, have sold out as Rain asks for the reason. Karen reveals that the Golden Children of the Dragon Orthodox Church's Heresy Interrogation Agency have placed all books related to Tarina on the censorship list. Rain questions if Tarina has been deemed a heretic, and Karen confirms it seems so. Rain queries Karen if she had read the book, to which Karen affirms she has. She notes that as a librarian, it's a must-read and says that being a disciple of Rin and the Priestess of Pride, Tarina has left many significant achievements. Rain asks about strange things like black magic in the book, but Karen assures him it's a biography, so any dangerous content would have been filtered by censorship, adding to Rain's mystery. Rain decides he will search the black market, causing Karen to question his decision. He describes how everything, including dark items and books, are available in the black market, hoping to find a book about Tarina there. Karen agrees Rain should be able to find it there but expresses concern about the price. She informs Rain that since the book has been censored, its price must have greatly increased, and Rain acknowledges the money will be an issue. Rain realizes he can't take a loan from his family due to the book being under suspicion of heresy. Karen estimates the book will cost at least 3 coins, deeming it impossible with her salary. Meanwhile, Rain contemplates finding a way to get the money, recalling he thought he wouldn't have to worry about money in this life. To make a quick fortune, Rain considers selling scrolls on the streets or becoming a magic instructor. He believes in these situations, a high-risk, high-return strategy is the best, concluding the biggest bet he can place is his own life. An idea comes to Rain's mind to risk his life and earn money as he thanks Karen and turns away. Karen asks him where he is going, and Rain replies that he wants to try something. Turning around with a smile, Rain declares he will become an adventurer to earn money. Karen interjects, expressing that for a noble, being an adventurer is considered lowly work and deems it unacceptable. Rain responds, stating that if all goes well, he will earn the money quickly, claiming it's the fastest method he can think of, though he admits feeling ashamed. Next morning, in the library, someone points to the list and questions if Rain Ludwig really checked out the biography of Tarina. Holding the list, a man queries a lady about the loan approval, and she identifies Karen, who has been there for only 4 months, as the one who approved it. The man asks where Karen is, and the lady explains it's her day off. The man questions if Karen did not receive the loan regulations, and the lady suggests it's possible, or Rain might have insisted on it. Another woman with purple hair suggests there could be a mistake in the name, commenting on Karen's messy handwriting, making it hard to tell if it's Rain or Elin. The lady speculates that with everyone talking about Rain, Karen might have written the wrong name in confusion. She also raises the possibility of Karen being in love and making the mistake. The man concludes that if that's the case, there's no problem and suggests they correct the borrower's name after the meeting to Professor Ellen Ludwig. In the past, adventurers were often seen as those who risked their lives for money or as ruffians who frequented taverns. At least, that was the general impression. However, today, adventurers are regarded more as combat experts who assist people or as mercenaries who exterminate beasts. The top-tier adventurers are almost revered as heroes. Rain arrives at the Adventurers Guild only to find that the world has changed significantly. Inside the guild, there is a bustling commotion, with everyone occupied with their own tasks. As Rain walks, he hears 2 adventurers discussing how the Red Dragon Legion's departure has filled the Red Mountains with beasts. At another table, Rain listens and as 3 people talk about the rat spiders, whose numbers are overwhelming and the bounties on them are quite enticing. Rain keeps the information about the rat spiders in mind. Approaching the front desk, Rain assumes the lady, clad in uniform, might be a Delayton student, as she inquires about how she can assist him. Rain requests to register as an adventurer, and upon the woman's inquiry for identification, he promptly hands over his student ID. Rain asks about registration time, and the lady, holding his ID, assures him it won't take over 10 minutes due to his delayed student status. Seeing Ludwig on the ID, the lady is shocked, questioning why a noble would register as an adventurer. As Rain asks about the next steps, the lady provides Rain with a form, instructing him to fill it out and pays special attention to the last part, pointing it out. Rain asks about the last part, and the lady explains that it's a special agreement for nobles, a clause stating that the guild is not responsible for any issues that may arise later. Upon hearing this, Rain questions if people in the past have attempted to hold the guild accountable. The lady confirms that there were such incidents years ago, hence the creation of such an agreement. After a while, the lady hands Rain his adventurer badge, signifying that his registration is complete. The lady explains that Rain's iron badge signifies his adventurer rank, detailing that ranks ascend in order from bronze to diamond. Rain asks if everyone starts at iron rank, and the lady replies, not necessarily. She stresses skills and experience's importance before becoming an adventurer, noting mages' rank correlation with their adventurer grade, a point Rain acknowledges. The lady informs Rain he skipped the ranking test, resulting in his iron rank, which he acknowledges. She offers Rain more information, but he declines, thanking her before walking away. The lady bids Rain to take care and reminds him that as his rank increases, the range of tasks available to him will expand. With a grin, Rain looks at his badge, acknowledging his qualification to receive bounties for eliminating beasts, allowing him access to dangerous areas. He reveals he has only 44 silver coins, and decides to hunt the rat spiders he overheard people discussing. Observing the notice board, Rain notes the bounty of 2 silver coins per spider, assuming they must be weak. He resolves to catch as many as possible to earn more. With determination, he heads out to the Red Mountains. Dragon's Peak. Rain gazes up at the mountain from the entrance gate, noticing significant changes. As he proceeds, he finds the market bustling with people and traders. It's now overrun by monsters after the departure of the dragons who once managed the place. While walking, a trader offers Rain a potion to purchase, but he declines. After a while, Rain's attention is drawn to something. He notices the stone stairs leading to the shrine of the fire dragon are still intact and well maintained. As he stares up, memories of his previous life with his companions flash before his eyes as he recalls their ascent up these stairs. Thinking of pride, he murmurs about the greatness of the stairs, reassured that his hometown is safe. Stretching his back, Rain prepares to rid the land of pests. At that moment, someone nearby calls out to Rain. A smiling guy asks Rain if he is a mage and encourages him not to hide. Rain responds he wasn't hiding his mage status, pointing out his attire gives it away, and advises the guy not to show off, earning a sharp retort to shut up. The guy invites Rain to join his party, stating their need for a mage. Rain inquires about the party, prompting the guy to introduce its members. He introduces a giant named Bart, a reliable silver-rank frontline fighter, who towers over Rain. Rain points out Bart's non-human appearance, likening him more to a monster, but the guy defends Bart, noting despite his looks, he's a sensitive individual. Another member, Sammy, their cleric, is introduced by the guy. Finally, he introduces himself as Renlum, the genius archer. Rain eyes the unlikely trio and jests, asking if they are a criminal gang targeting rookie adventurers. Renlum is taken aback by the accusation of criminality, as Rain suggests his party seems too suspicious, querying if they are a human trafficking gang posing as adventurers. Bart's eyes widen in anger at the accusation, and Rain panics. Renlum questions if Rain is picking a fight and suggests settling it, while Bart starts tearing up. He tries to calm Bart, reassuring him it's just a misunderstanding. Rain asks Renlum why he wants an Iron Rank adventurer on their team. Renlum asserts that ranks don't matter, claiming he can distinguish people by their scent. With a smile, he tells Rain he appears strong. Renlum also mentions Bart's concern about Rain traversing the monster-infested mountain path alone. Sammy explains that many young students come to earn money and get into trouble. They assure Rain they are not forcing him and advise him to be cautious if he chooses to go alone. Rain thanks them for the advice but asserts he is comfortable working alone and walks away. Renlum says he understands and reassures Bart that Rain will be fine. Rain proceeds to hunt the rat spiders alone, already familiar with their habitat. Before departing, he turns back and offers Renlum any magic assistance he may need. Thus, Rain sets off with the 3 party members to hunt the rat spiders. High above the mountains, in a cave, lies a massive spider, surrounded by the bones of dead creatures. While a rat spider is eating the log of a tree, Rain and his group pass by. They have been walking for a while and haven't spotted any of the rat spiders, so Rain asks if it even exists. Bart tells him the creatures are very fearful and don't appear in front of humans. He tells Rain that the bite marks on the trees are left by the rat spiders and are nearby. Bart asks Rain if he is fine with splitting the profits equally between them, which Rain agrees to. While Rem is observing the area, Sammy asks Rain if he knows about the nature of rat spiders. Rain tells Sammy he doesn't and asks about them. They have a rat head and spider body, and the colony has the queen, soldiers and workers. While the soldiers attack humans, the workers eat the trees. Sammy doesn't tell him about the queen since they won't attack at this time. Their strategy is to exterminate the soldiers and ignore the queen. Rain asks why they should neglect the queen and they should kill them all. Bart tells him it is because the threat of the queen is very high. If they wanted to catch the queen, they need to set up a large-scale operation. Rain, interested, asks if it is that hard to catch the queen, the reward must be high. Rem tells him to not even think about trying. She then finds the hunting ground of the rat spiders who are killing a deer. Rem shoots at the rats while Bart slashes at them with his axe. One of the rat is killed by another adventurer who tells his party the location of the rats. Rem tells Bart they need to clear the place before other adventurers come. While the two are killing the spiders, Rain asks Sammy if it's okay if he doesn't fight at all since they are splitting the profits. Sammy tells him it is, and all they need to do is set up camp. He tells Rain, Bart and Rem never planned on letting him fight. Rain doesn't understand why they wanted him to join the party. Sammy tells him Bart and Rem genuinely want to help others. They were like that for Sammy too. The moment they heard he needed money for exams, they included him in the party. Sammy continues that Rem and Bart have more money than they need but still help others. While he is with them, he can feel the love of God. Rain asks him if it is like unconditional love. Sammy feels a sense of solidarity which can't be explained by God or religion. He says it is like feeling of wanting to be together as humans. The days they spent together was very fun, which fills Sammy's heart to the brim. Sammy apologizes for his rambling, but Rain, smiling, tells him it is nice to travel with someone as he remembers his past companions. Rain remembers about Troina and asks Sammy about her. Sammy does know about the Witch of Ashes. Rain asks if Troina got taken by the church for heresy. Sammy says it seems like she did, but also maybe not. While they are taking, an adventurer is attacked by a huge rat spider. He screams so loudly all the other adventurers hear him. The ground is shaking while it is walking towards the other adventurers, and Rem asks if it is for real. It is the queen rat spider. They all look at the rat spider in horror. Sammy tells Rain it is twice the size of a normal queen and there is no record of this. Rem says it is because the queen was left alone for too long. The queen roars very loudly, which makes the adventurers run away in fear. Bart tells them to not run away and to face it head on. Sammy notices the normal rat spiders and tells the others they need to retreat, because when the queen appears, the rat spiders get into groups of 6 and get aggressive. The rats attack the adventurers. While Rem is shooting at the rats, she remarks that the rookies are no good. Bart tells Rem it is useless to fight the minions and they need to aim for the queen. Rem tells Sammy to take care of the rookies while Rain protects him. Rem shoots 3 arrows at the queen, which hits it on the eyes. Rain notes it is Kai's simultaneous precision shot. The small rats try to attack Rem but gets slashed away by Bart to Rain's amazement. Bart jumps at the distracted queen and slashes it on the head. The other adventurers think that Bart killed the queen, but Rain notices something. Rain warns Bart to move away, and if he gets touched, he will die. As the queen releases some sort of black liquid, Bart jumps away. The spider is still moving and removes Bart's axe from its head. Bart remarks that the axe melted. The spider takes out its useless eye and throws it away. To Rem's shock, it starts to regenerate. Rem is still fighting the normal rats and yells at Bart to run. The queen bites Bart's arm and he screams in pain. Rem is still being attacked by the normal spiders and shoots an arrow at the queen, which distracts it. Rem angrily asks if the queen is ignoring her. She is then swarmed by more rat spiders. Sammy tells Rain he is fine and to join the attack. When he calls out to Rain, Rain doesn't reply. Rain is looking at the queen with horror. He notes it is poison. He has no doubt about it, but it is the poison from his past life. He looks around in horror. Since there is a black mage nearby who enhances the queen and is close, Sammy tells Rain to snap out of it. Sammy can't use attack spells and the only one left who can attack is Rain. Sammy requests Rain to fight because he doesn't want to lose his comrades. Rain looks at Rem and Bart. Gritting his teeth, he asks Sammy how much they will get for killing that monster. Sammy tells him it should be about 20 gold coins. Rain says 20 gold coins isn't that bad and blows up the arrow. Rain, who has managed to take the queen's attention, will be fighting it now. Rain casts a light magic which blinds Sammy and the queen a bit. Even the normal rat spiders, Rem, were blinded. While blinded, Rain casts the ground magic to throw Rem and Bart at Sammy. Rain tells Sammy to take care of them. Rain tells the other adventurers to surround Sammy, who is healing Bart and Rem. The fallen Rem opens her eyes as the adventurers get into defensive positions. Rain announces he will finish the queen. From the injured place, the rat spider queen grows out its leg. Because losing a leg doesn't affect it, Rain runs at the queen while casting a magic. He is then attacked by the normal rats, but he manages to escape them by exploding the magic behind him, propelling him forward. The adventurers are protecting Sammy while Sammy is looking at Rain. Rain casts a fire magic on the queen and the queen attacks Rain. While casting a 3-star magic, Rain decides not to and dodges the queen's attack. He notes that there is no guarantee that 3-star magic will work and his magic has limits. He tells himself to calm down and assess the enemy. He activates Bel Sidious and analyzes the queen. He sees that it is enchanted with 3-star dark magic. Rain then gets attacked by more rat spiders and uses his magic to climb the tree. The concentration of the dark poison is also high, and with his body, he won't be able to withstand it. If Rain can't intercept it with Bel Sidious, he will have to use 4-star magic. That would be reckless, and if he fails, it will be over. The risk is also high since the dark mage could be nearby. While thinking about what he should do, Rem stands up. Sammy tells Rem to lie down quickly since her bleeding is severe. Rem tells him she is fine and leaves Bart to him. She runs at the rat spiders and tells the others to take care of the small fry. While Rain is still thinking what he should do and they might need to retreat for now, the eyeball of the queen comes flying at the tree where Rain is. He wonders what that is and looks at the queen. To his horror, the queen is throwing its own children at him. He dodges it and falls to the ground. The queen then tries to attack Rain, but he raises the ground to block it. The enraged queen and Rain are staring at each other. While that is happening, an arrow hits the queen's eye. Rain looks at the direction of the arrow and the queen takes out the arrow. Rem reminds it she told it to not ignore her. The queen shifts its focus on Rem. Still injured, provokes the queen and queen screams and runs at Rem. Sammy, concerned, yells at Rem to run away quickly. Rem notes it isn't time to run yet and she has to endure while Rain casts a spell to stop the queen. Rem takes out a knife and tells Rain to get a hold of himself as she throws the knife, which hits the queen's eye. The damage is significant enough for the queen to fall down and Rem asks Rain if he will be able to take care of it. Rain stays calm and hides behind a rock and can handle it without being noticed. He starts to cast magic, putting all his focus on it. Rem is starting to get dizzy while running and dodging the queen's attack. She is getting exhausted and hopes he can get a little more strength. She can't get any more strength and gets hit really hard by the queen. Sammy tries to go to Rem but is stopped since it is dangerous. While that is happening, Rain is still casting his magic. Sammy runs at Rem, who is still smiling, looking at the queen. Rain starts to bleed because of his magic. When the queen tries to attack Rem, she gets carried away by Sammy. This surprises the adventurers and the queen. Sammy scolds Rem, telling her they need to get back alive, all of them, together so they can keep smiling. He tells her to stop doing reckless things as he heals her. Then Rem apologizes and tells Sammy when they return, he will have to write a reflection paper, which he will. Rem stands up and the queen tries to attack them again. As it is about to attack, Rain's magic activates and a huge fire blazes, surrounding the queen, separating Rem and Sammy from it, and this is the reach of the spell. This surprises Rem and Sammy. Rain's magic circle is in the shape of 4 layers of triangles. Bind of the magic circle then activates. The fire is on the queen, burning alive. The runes he inscribed are Hangul, Rule, Bind and Scatter, and the mathematical equations include 14 polynomials and 7 rational functions. The fire is killing the rat spiders as the adventurers look in awe. Rain completes his coordinate equation, power equation, while the queen is being burned alive. Scatter activities as it blows up in the area of the queen. The rat spider is being burnt in a huge blaze of fire. The fire is so strong that it makes the bystanders fly away too while Rem and Sammy take cover. It is strong enough to change the color of the sky to red and be seen from a distance. After the fire stops, Rem and Sammy look at the rat spider but find it burnt to a crisp. Everyone there is stunned seeing that. Rain, tired from the magic, calls himself pathetic because in his last life, he could use it 7 times in a row without problems. The rat spider's remains is blown away by the wind. As the queen dies, the other rat spiders return to their normal state and run away. The adventurers are going after the remaining rat spiders and won't let a single one get away. Sammy runs towards Bart while Rem looks at the remaining corpse of the rat spider. She can't believe such a monster was dealt with a single blow. Sammy goes to heal Bart and Rem finds herself feeling dizzy. Rem asks how Bart is and Sammy tells her Bart will recover without any major issues. Bart wakes up and asks Rem if she is okay. Rem assures him she got necessary treatment and will be fine. She tells him to not worry about it since they had bad luck with the matchup this time. She doesn't find the regenerating queen to make any sense because even the Adventurer Guild's database didn't have that information. Rem wonders who took it out in one shot and sees the unconscious Rain. Rem goes to Rain concerned and Sammy tells her to not shake him and let him have a look. Sammy assures her it is magic overload and Rain will be fine after some rest. Rem, noting Rain's mana ran out, thinks that the fire spell from earlier was his. Sammy tells her Rain used all his mana for that. Rem wonders why Rain hid behind a rock. The queen was fighting them so he didn't need any cover, and if he showed himself his name would have been known. Sammy tells her to worry about that later and to let him heal Rain. Rain in his sleep remembers when he was Rin telling the others to not mention his name. They ask him what he is saying. Now, he tells them to not record his name as a member of Hero's party and to tell the king the same. The man there doesn't understand since the king arranged that to honor his dedication to humanity and asks if he hates them. Lista asks him if he joking again and to stop it. Rin tells them it isn't like that and he is just different from them. Pride angrily asks him what he is talking about. Rin says he isn't burdened with fate like Kai's or Freed, nor does he have a mission to accomplish like Lista. He set on this journey purely for personal curiosity and being there is a coincidence, so he doesn't deserve his name there just to tarnish their reputation. The three look at each other while he says that and Kai's pats him on the head. They all laugh and Pride says the kid is getting too cute these days. Lista asks Rin if he has been worrying about that. Rin angrily shoves Kai's hands away and tells them he is stating the obvious. Lista assures Rin that no matter what others say, he is a part of their party and to not think about self-sacrifice. She tells him to do whatever he wants like he always does, and the world already acknowledges him as the great mage of the hero's party. Rain wakes up to see he is on Bart's back and asks where he is. Rem tells him they are on the way back to the academy. Rain notes his whole body aches and he went overboard but finds it a relief the black magician didn't notice. Bart asks if the fire spell from earlier was his. Rain stay quiet and Rem tells him to not lie since she knows what she is talking about. Rain says he wasn't hiding it exactly. Rem tells him she wrote on the report that they used a scroll they bought from a merchant since she thought he wanted to keep it a secret. She asks if she should amend the report she submitted. Rain tells her to leave it for now. Rem won't pray into Rain for the reason and they owe Rain a huge favor since he saved their lives. Rain tells her he didn't to them a favor. Sammy suggests to give all the reward money to Rain, which Bart agrees on. Rain asks why Rem is making such a face since it is his rightful share. Rem expected him to say he dedicates it to everyone who worked hard and distribute it fairly. Rain tells her to keep dreaming, to which everyone smiles to. Rain tells them that he was kidding and 5 gold coins are enough for him and to split the rest between them. Bart tells him he deserves the reward. Rain tells him to stop being so considerate and take what they need. Bart and Rain go back and forth on it and Rem butts in, telling Rain that Bart and her want to become the best adventures and to invest in connections by using the opportunity. Rain agrees it isn't a bad idea. Sammy asks if Rain asked about Tarina earlier. Sammy isn't certain but he heard it by chance that Tarina dabbled in black magic in his later years, shocking Rain. Rain and the others bid their goodbyes as they go their own ways. After they leave, Rain has a serious expression in his face because of what Sammy said about Tarina. Back at the academy he is in the library reading books but can't find anything about Tarina messing with black magic. While looking at the book he remembers when he was in a destroyed village where he threw a burnt book. He then heard a noise and went to the direction of the noise. It was a village flooded by the abyss. He found Truina in the village in a half-submerged ruin in the swamp. Tarina was 7 at the time, hiding there from Rin. Rin lights a fire and hears Tarina's stomach grumble. He goes to Tarina and takes out a bag, scaring Tarina, but nothing happens. When Tarina opens his eyes, he sees Rin holding a bread for him to eat. Rin tells Tarina to not worry since it isn't poison. Seeing the smoke, Lista and the others make their way towards it. Rin asks him if he isn't going to eat that since that is all there is to eat. After a moment of awkward silence, Tarina says everyone is gone, dead. Rain asks him if the village didn't have contact with the outside world, which Tarina doesn't know. Rin says he didn't know a village like this even existed since it is located pretty remotely. He continues Tarina might be the only one who remembers the village and its people. Rin says it really is lonely. A life where no one remembers him. As Tarina weeps, Rin asks him if he is okay with that since if he dies, the village will disappear. Tarina tells him he doesn't want that at all. Holding up the bread, Rin tells him to eat it then since he has to eat to survive. He tells Tarina to remember the people who live there because only he can do it now. Tarina takes the bread and eats it while weeping sorrowfully. Ever since that day, Tarina followed him everywhere. Tarina had a talent for magic. When Rin taught him spells, it seemed like it didn't work, but after a while it would start to rain, impressing everyone. He never planned on making Tarina a great mage. The group agrees on leaving Tarina at the next village church they visit since staying with them is too dangerous. All Rin taught her was magic needed to survive on her own. Tarina practiced magic with Rin diligently with no complaints. They practiced putting out small fires with water magic, earth magic to save falling people. All the spells he taught were for helping others. One night Pride jokes that Rin likes the kid and if he is into younger ones, surprising Lista. Rin tells her to say things which made sense. Rin doesn't know if it was sympathy or pity, or maybe he felt a kindred spirit with the girl who was in a situation similar to him in his past. In the next village, they left Tarina at the church. She had a dark expression but said goodbye without making much of a fuss. They leave the village quickly, telling Tarina to take care. The priest tells her that this is her new home now and she will get used to it. He tells her to not worry about anything and from now they are family. Tarina says this isn't her home and they are not her family, and her family is her master's as she casts a magic. One of the other priests enter the room telling the head priest that the admission process for the kid is done, but he sees the priest tied up in a pillar. He asks if the new kid did this and they need a search party. The head priest says it is fine and to let her go. The head priest told Tarina to untie him, then Tarina apologizes to him, telling him with a bright smile that she needs to be by her master's side. The head priest says youth is wonderful. Tarina calls out to Rin to his shock, telling him they should go together. She ran to them as fast as she could. Rin asks how she is there. Tarina tells them she escaped using the magic he taught her. To his shock, she pleads him to take her with them and she won't cause any trouble. The group can't believe this as Lista smiles to Rin. Rin tells her they will take her but won't stay together till the end. He asks her if she hurt anyone with the magic she used. Tarina assures him she didn't, and Rin reminds her to never forget that magic should never be used to hurt others. They then continued their journey with Tarina in their party. While traveling with them, Tarina began to blossom her talent. Tarina was a troublemaker but her talent was real. The others, recognizing Tarina's talent, guided her in various fields. Tarina learned all the new skills like a sponge soaking water, but sometimes she got ahead of herself, like seeing Lista destroy a rock with her fists, which she denied to do. Tarina improved a lot, and as she reached the level to take on powerful monsters, they officially welcomed her as a member of the party. One night, Lista, Pride and Rin brought Tarina new clothes to wear, while Rin brought a hat which she could wear after she is able to take it from him. They all laughed and had a good time. As their journey was reaching the end, Tarina managed to take the hat from Rin one day, shocking the others. In the final battle against the Abyss, Tarina was strong enough to be of great help, but Rin told her to stay back and not fight. When she tries to argue that decision, telling them they know her skills can help, Lista agrees with Rin to not take Tarina. Pride and Keese also don't say anything. Tarina, in disbelief, asks them how they could leave her behind now. Rin tells her she is still a rookie and the enemy they are fighting is too dangerous. The four of them started the journey together. They will finish it together. Rin assures Tarina they will come back and he will teach her more magic when he returns. Tarina tells them she will wait and keep waiting for them. She looks at the group as they go into their final battle, and like that Ren's adventure with her ended. Rain doesn't understand why she would dabble with black magic and finds it suspicious that books related to her are suddenly being censored. His progress on unique magic then increased by 2% and is now at 39.9%. Rin says it might mean getting rid of the monster rats was only worth 2%, then they have a long way to go. He continues to look at the book to see his doodle when he was Rin with the captain, coolest master in the world. Rain wonders when she managed to make that, but then quietly stands there. As the sun rises, there are dark mages on the site where the rat spider queen was killed. One of them, stomping the ground, complains it was supposed to reduce the number of adventurers and draw the golden children. The other mage notes that the heat from the magic still lingers around and must be at least a 4-star magic. They killed the other adventurers there who told them Rem and Bart did that. One of them vows to skin the two of them alive. The other warns him if he does that there will be evidence and find out they are in the south for the golden children to find them. They can't ruin their grand plan over this. He then complains they need to do it without being caught. Then the calm one tells him there's more important things to do than revenge, like reporting this to Tarina. Rain goes to the local development magic club. He is asked if he is okay since he looks tired, and he tells them to not worry about him. Rain enters the place. Joan tells them they are about to start, so they need to get a seat. He notes that the number of members have grown so much there might not be enough seats. He then introduces himself as the president of the club. He is really happy there are so many people there. He looks forward to working with them as they applaud. As Joan is about to explain the purpose and goals of the club, someone completely unexpected enters the room. It shocks everyone, including Rain. It was Logan, and he says he looks forward to working with them. Joan, shocked Logan he is there, also welcomes him. He tells Logan to grab a seat. To Logan's shock, the only seat that's left is next to Rain. Joan then continues his speech, telling them they will do their best. Logan says Rain is keeping his promises, and Rain replies he is following the rules. As Logan is talking about the club, Rain is deep in his thought. He notes that black magicians still exists, and the next time he fights them will he be able to win. He sees his stats to be 12,000 in mana and only 311 in HP. Rain needs to get in shape fast, but can't do random workouts. He wonders if there's anyone to guide him and realizes Logan is right next to him, at the training grounds. Logan teaches Rain how to do push-ups. While Rain is fighting for his life holding the position, he is told to hold the position for 10 seconds. When Rain collapses, Logan asks if he thinks it is a joke. Rain wants to rip Logan's mouth off, but he needs stamina, so he will do it. Rain asked Logan to help him with strength training. Logan doesn't understand what Rain is saying. Rain tells him he means exactly as Logan thinks. Logan says he got beat by Rain, so there is no way he needs to learn from someone he defeated. Rain tells him to not be petty and he is a part of a muscle building experts. Logan starts to get angry, saying he did lose the match, so it is fair if Rain ignores him and to not look down on the school. Rain replies he isn't so free he can mock people all day. Because Logan is misunderstanding, Rain bluntly tells him that he is strong and would like his help with strength training. Rain isn't being sarcastic, and he felt something when they fought. He was surprised because of his young age. Logan thanks him for that. Rain says that the body is the most important basic element, which he doesn't have. He wants to train properly but can't waste any time. Rain asks if it wouldn't if better to get guidance from the experts in body breathing. Logan says that Rain says makes sense and there is no one more qualified than him on the field, but he can't take it on and tells Rain to find someone else. Rain tells him he will properly compensate Logan. That isn't what Logan meant. Logan is from the 8th school while Rain is from a mage family, so they are enemies, and there is no reason for enemies to help each other. To Rain's disbelief, Rain then calls Logan just for Logan to see Rain's finger there with a magic circle next to his head. Rain makes a bag sound but nothing happens. Rain tells Logan to consider himself lucky, since if he was serious about that, Logan would be dead. He asks Logan why he didn't kill him. Rain himself gives the answer that is because Logan isn't his enemy. He tells Logan they are students and not soldiers. The school isn't a battlefield but a place of learning. Rain asks how they can be enemies when they are peers exploring magic together. Logan didn't expect Rain to come up with such a solid argument and agrees with Rain. Rain tells the spaced out Logan it is over. Logan says Rain is surprisingly good at that. Logan thought Rain would give up quickly. On the ground, Rain asks if Logan finally sees that he is serious. Logan tells him to get to the next one and to get up. Rain asks Logan to help him up and Logan tells him to get up on his own. Rain's body won't move. Logan asks how he would know what a newbie's muscle felt like. Logan asks what others would think seeing enemies working together in the mage family and 8th school would point fingers. Rain asks Logan if his muscles are for show. He tells Logan if anyone talks shit to knock them out. Logan, smiling, says that is true as he helps Rain up. While hiding from their view, Professor Owen is proud of those two. Krista then notices the two of them together to her shock. She asks what they are doing there to Rain and Logan's annoyance. She asks if they are fighting again, which they deny. She asks what they are doing covered in sweats, then they tell her they are lifting. Logan then gives Rain magic protein to drink. Krista asks Rain if he is out of his mind and if Logan gaslit him. Logan, getting annoyed, tells her to shut up. They are having a meaningful moment there. Krista asks why Logan is all buddy-buddy with Rain now. Professor Owen comes up behind Krista, telling her she is always so noisy. Krista is scared seeing Owen there. Logan asks why he is there. Owen tells them he was passing by and saw the monkeys gathering, so he stopped by. He also has an announcement to give. Owen tells them he has bad news for them. The midterms will be starting in 4 weeks. Rain asks if that is the bad news since it is good to know when it is starting. Krista tells him in Delaton these aren't regular tests and are like rite of passage which separates those who move up and those who fail. Owen tells them the philosophy there is endless competition, which meant the ones who fall behind will be expelled. He warns them to be prepared. The scene shifts to Rain is in his room and checks what he needs to be prepared by. Then he looks at Rudy to see her glitching around and shining brightly. Rain then gets into a gray space as the light dissipates. He wonders where he is. Rudy shows him that his progress in unique magic has increased to 40%. As that happens, a new mana circuit opens. Rain's eyes start to shine. Upon opening the circuit, a mental barrier will be deployed with a 20-meter radius of him. In the mental barrier, the success rate of magic combinations using unique runes and formulas will increase by 33% and power by 66%. A rune is formed in Rain's hand. While Rain's current mana is 12,564, the mana required for casting is 20,000. The hand sign for mental barrier, flowing world honored one, is RA. Rudy then sends Rain back to his room. Rudy wonders if he got the mental barrier because he reached 40% proficiency in unique magic. Among the sages in history, only 2 have used this technique. This is a great for Rain. In the next scene, Rain bandages his hand to hide the seal and heads to the black market. He hasn't had a moment to breathe in the past few days and finds it relaxing to enjoy peace. He then bumps into someone and apologizes. The man says it is alright and they are cool. Rain recognizes the voice as Bart's. He sees Rem and Sammy are also there. Rain tells them it has been a while since he saw them and Rem tells him they saw each other just a few days ago. Bart picks Rain up and takes him with them. Rain tells Bart to put him down and let go. Rem says that this is the only way to go together since he is a busy guy. Rain tells her this is borderline kidnapping. Sammy tells him that they are getting commendation for taking down the rap spiders and Rain can't miss it since he is the main guy. Rem tells him to not complain since it will be quick and it is good to attend these things. She tells him it is a commendation from the Adventurer Guild's headquarters, surprising Rain. In the next scene, they are at the Adventurers branch. There are people watching them. Everyone is excited to see Bart, Rem and Rain since he is the eldest son of the Ludwig family. Rain asks if it is worth all the commotio. Rem tells him it is because Bart is from one holy school and she is from the drunken archer school. She compliments Rain for taking down the monster in one hit. Rain mocks her, saying maybe her skills, including the school's founders, aren't that great. Rem asks him if he wants to die. Bart tells Rain he and Rem fought countless enemies to reach silver rank and never thought they were lacking until they faced the Queen. A person enters the area and the guards go stiff. Rain notices the crowd's commotion increases. The person says they are the Rising Stars, the young adventurers. He is one of the Imperial 4 warriors, Archer Leorin. Everyone is shocked seeing him there. Sammy tells Rain the Empire gathers best warriors of time and gives them the status of Imperial 4 who serve the Emperor. He sees Rem hiding her face and asks her what's wrong. Leorin notices Rem and goes to her, telling them to look who it is. He asks what their little cutie is doing there. Rem tells him he must be mistaken. Leorin says that Makes sense since there is no way the girl who stormed left out of the dojo and dyed her hair become an adventurer. Leoren asks her if she is following him and if she got permission from her brother. Rem tells him to shut up. Sammy holds back Rem and goes to Bart, who is the leader of the party. Leoren says Bart must be strong to have taken down the monster. He says taking care of the troublemaker must be tough and to keep looking after her. Bart tells him they are a party so they just cover each other's weaknesses. Leoren says they are growing on him and will reach platinum in no time. Leoren then goes to talk to Sammy and Leoren is reminded of Keese. Leoren goes to Rain saying he is sure he has seen that face before. Leoren is sure he has seen the vibe of Rain's face before. He takes the paper about the information and sees his full name is Rain Ludwig, and Leoren is excited. Rain is Skalji Grandpa's grandson. Now that he knows it, Leoren finds resemblance in Rain's eyes and his grandfather's eyes. Leoren is indebted to Rain's grandfather for a few things. As Leoren is talking, Rain thinks if Keese could talk he would sound something like Leoren. Rain sees the white arrow bow in Leoren's back and smiles, asking how it has been. The bow then starts to shake to Leoren's confusion. A guard tells Leoren it is time to get started. Leoren cannot be bothered to read the long text and tells them that they did well, and in recognition of their spirit, they are rewarded with 2 gold coins. They are also rewarded 500 contribution points to each party member. Bart and Rem are surrounded by other adventurers telling them to join their guild for a good deal. Sammy and Rain look at the two being surrounded, saying they are popular. Sammy asks Rain if he is fine with leaving it as catching the rat spider with a scroll. Rain says it is for the best and tells Sammy he is going now. Sammy will inform the others. Sammy tells Rain since he is brass rank now he might be recognized while walking down the street. Rain hopes nothing annoying will happen while someone is observing him. While looking at Rudy he notes he still has a long way to go. Rain is getting excited about the mental barrier, since he couldn't reach the sage's domain in his past life. While Rain goes into an alley someone calls out to him. The man screams if Rain goes that way he can't get to the black market. The man tells Rain he didn't take the wrong path, but because of various reasons, the black market merchants fled, which is why the black market shut down temporarily. The man introduces himself as someone from Magic Alliance and asks to borrow a moment of Rain's time. They go to a restaurant and the man orders chicken skewers and milk coffee and asks about Rain's order. Rain tells him to get to the point since he is busy. The man tells him to not be cautious and he isn't there to ask Rain why he is going to the black market. Rain wonders how he knows about going to the black market, but more importantly he notes the man has a pretty strong mana. The man introduces himself as Doran Slade and works in the Special Affairs Department of the Magic Alliance. Doran says when Rain's father was the president of the student council he was the secretary. Doran wants to assure Rain he is not a suspicious person and is in his side and is there to confirm a few things. Doran asks Rain if the magic that took down the queen was Rain's since there is no record of Bart's party visiting magic shops recently. Even if they bought it in advance there is no one selling it, and there are also not many 4-star mage capable of creating such a powerful scroll in the last 10 years. Doran checked if Skalji Ludwig made something like that for Rain, but that wasn't the case, so there is only one conclusion. Rain tells him he isn't trying to hide it but is concerned about something. Doran asks if he means the black magician. Rain wonders if he is fishing for info. The food arrives and Doran asks if it is for 2 people instead of 1. Doran tells him it is fine and will eat it all by himself. Rain prepares to leave and Doran gets to the main point. Doran asks Rain to work with him in the Special Affairs Department of the Magic Alliance. Rain tells him he is still just a student. Doran tells Rain he wants Rain to join after he graduates. While Doran tries to persuade him more, Rain isn't interested and starts to leave. Doran tells him the Black Church is becoming more challenging nowadays and something big is coming. Doran wants to believe if they prepare now they can stop it. Rain tells him he doesn't know what Doran is talking about but will think about it. Rain asks him if someone expects him to fight them in this life too. Doran tells Rain if he needs something from the black market to check out the VIP escort missions. During holiday, someone sits down on Doran's table saying he got rejected. The woman heard the first years are called the Golden Generation but didn't expect Doran of all people to go for the Disaster Prodigy. Doran says Rain doesn't fit in with the Golden Generation and doesn't seem to have contact with Tarina and to look for other suspects. The woman asks if any of the Delayton rookies have a contact with Tarina. It is just Doran's intuition and he should check the connection before they enter the school. Dyron wonders how anyone could say they belong to the golden generation and notes Kevin gave birth to a monster. Duran has never been this scared of someone's potential before in his life.